You're listening to another Woodshop podcast, the okayest podcast of its type. Your hosts are Daniel Dunlap of Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, Peter Kapar of Petrie's Workshop, and Braden Boakes of Littlebug Woodworking. You can find them as well as the podcast on your favorite social media channels.
Welcome to episode 255 of another Woodshop podcast, where this week we are joined by a man that dares to ask the question, what if I take this tiny piece of wood and glue it to hundreds of other pieces of tiny wood, and then glue that up 100 different times, and then take a power tool to it? Well, maybe it'll go viral, and somehow it did. Anytime you're like, hey, I wonder if someone made this thing giant and out of wood. Yes, he did, and out of pallet wood, and somehow he used a lathe. And here he is, the tiny but mighty Paul Aloysius Jackman of the Department of Jackman Works. What's up, boys?
What's up, buddies?
Woo!
I heard he goes by Big Balls online.
Big balls. Paul.
Aloysius definition.
Because he made the snowman.
Yeah.
He made the snowman. It was three big
balls.
Segmented balls.
Yeah, and then the Nutcracker had a big ball head.
You do love your segmented balls.
He's good at it.
Speaking of segmented balls, Dan.
I'm back.
Oh, our patrons, who I certainly have pulled
Did
up.
you
and
forget
I was
to pull up the
totally
patrons? You were talking a lot of smack right before we started about how you've been ready for hours.
That's why I didn't want to come back on this podcast.
How do you spell
sorry.
Patreon, guys?
You know what you're
Asking
getting
for a
into.
friend.
This is your fourth time on? I think.
It's been too many.
That sounds right.
I think at this point you're like one away from one of those like nice jackets that you get on SNL for the Five Timers Club.
Ooh.
I thought I was going to get like a free sandwich. Can you punch my punch card?
I could punch your fart
I don't want the
box.
jacket. Just if I get the free sandwich at 10, thank you.
Is Dan okay?
Dan is looking up our patrons.
Not
because
okay.
he was
I'm
definitely ready. Anyways, I'm gonna stop stalling now.
Go back to
Dan?
Michigan, Dan.
You would like that because I'd be closer to you.
Yes.
We don't have any new patrons. And the level of disappointment that I'm feeling right now is
I stalled all that time for nothing.
You stalled a lot, and I appreciate it. But we could still talk about all of our VIP patrons. I mean, that's fun.
Can you name my favorite ones?
Yeah,
know which
I can
ones.
name all 30 of them,
Yeah.
right? And that goes a little something like this: 3 mentions in one episode. Is that a record? That's the Crafty Sloth. Sean Renshaw over at Nate V Woodworking. Nick over at NSM Woodcraft. Chris Lamoureux over at Homefront Woodworks. Chris Greenwood at Evolution Custom Woodworking. The podcast is sponsored by Casey's Pizza. That is Duffy
Wishful thinking.
from Duffy Woodcraft. Greg Bennett over at Windy Acres Works. Greg D'Ambrosio at GTD Woodworking. Damon from BWG Woodworking. Jeremy Claybaugh. Braden's Extinct Jeeposaurus Rex. That is Alex Adams over at Type A Furniture. John Herbolsheimer at Living Lath Woodworks. Nick Vreeland of NV Woodshop. Tyler Booth at Temecula Yard Games. Jared LaPuma at LL Builds. Henry Lutens from Manfreda Wood. Justin Frazier from Fraser Canyon Woodworks. Sarah with Rosie's Woodshop. El Jefe over at Maker's Way. Victor at Whim Designs. Chairs now included. That is Nick Brim Woodworking. Paul Jackman's fallen asleep. I got drunk at boat races and missed the pre-show. That is Max Reed of Reed Design Co. Bill Burkle over at WTV Woodworking. Malcolm. Crafted with Machines and Love. That is Patrick Ginsel. Ed Mancini from Mancini Woodworking. Chris at Chris Will Make. Willow Creek Lumber. That is Scott Shirk. Justin Bailey from Campfire Woodworks. And rounding them all out is John Grubb over at John Grubb Will Make. I think I said too many Johns, but yes.
He will make. He has made.
And Pete, those are your top 30 favorites.
Those are my favorite. You didn't mention the one I don't like, right?
Of course I did.
Yeah, no. Okay, good.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah.
Not since the accident.
Also, the one that I don't like, and everybody knows.
It's weird.
Braden?
I may have noticed that you guys may have noticed that Paul Jackman's not a top tier patron. So
is Paul Jackman even a patron at all?
I think he is free, probably.
Is he a free tier
or something? But speaking of free tiers,
I give all my tiers out for free.
I'm throwing him under the bus. We're doing a giveaway, guys. We have one more week in this month's giveaway. We're giving away a whole pack from Elegant of audio gear and also a flashlight. And actually, it's audio and light gear because you get a big LED sign as well. So it's pretty cool.
Does it also come with a box of subs that you can put in your trunk?
It does come with a very tiny but mighty, like Paul Jackman, who is roughly Sam-sized if you follow DIY Huntress. That tiny but mighty not Discord, it's the, I'm blanking on a name, but whatever. It's the tiny little speaker that they have. That thing is Thumper? Awesome. The Thumper, thank you. Yes, it's called the Thumper, and it's actually a pretty dope speaker. And the Discord headphones that I've been raving about, they're actually my favorite headphones now. Like, not sponsored. Seriously, like, of all the ones, including the ones some other people might endorse, Paul, these are actually some of my faves. So we're giving away a whole kit and caboodle, nice cup there, a whole kit and caboodle of goodies from them. So Elegant's throwing all that in. If you want to enter, all you have to do is be a patron. And if you're free tier patron, you're not entered, but you can by bumping yourself up to any one of the tiers, the $2, $5, $10, or $20 tier, or the $21 Nick Brim tier. And you'll be entered with 1, 2, 3, or 4 entries for the giveaway every single month that you are an active patron. Now, if you're like, screw these guys, but I love helping, children. So you can just go to arethecheersincluded.com and donate. For every $5 you donate to St. Jude, we will give you an extra entry for this giveaway. So a nice way to double your entries, quadruple, septuple them even.
Double the pleasure.
Did you say you get a certain number of entries depending on how many months you've been a patron?
No, for one.
You did.
I said that. Did I say that wrong? Okay.
You did. I'm not counting how many months people have been patrons because some of you have been for a long time.
For whatever tier you are for the month.
So whatever month specifically.
Whatever month you're entered, that month you're entered into the giveaway until you're no longer entered. So if
I wasn't gonna fix that. I wasn't gonna call you out. I just wanted to see the chaos roll.
Brayden, I want you to count all of them.
As long as you are on that tier on the last day of the month when I pull the report. If you pull your patron status today, you're out. You're out. You're not on the list for the 30th or the 1st.
So there you go.
Or the whenever.
So you got to stay in. You don't just pull out last minute.
No,
you commit.
Triple down.
Commit
Triple
to the
down.
giveaway. Exactly. So that's exciting. You guys can win. And then next month we'll announce. Next week we're going to announce the winner and we're going to announce what the giveaway is, and it's going to be a good one. Oh yeah,
it is. Once we figure it out, it's my birthday month, so it's got to be.
We have to figure it out because we have several that we.
Whatever we're giving away will also include a cake.
Ooh, I like it. All right, and also a huge shout out to our sponsors. You guys have heard of these guys. You may have heard of these guys. Some of the best CNCs out there. Onefinity, baby, a machine so good they stopped at number 1. Right? Onefinity, get it?
I get it.
Yeah, it's great. Unlike those 4Finities out there, get out of here. Bringing industrial machine standards to consumer price level. And Onefinities, listen, we all have Onefinities. We've had them for years, way before we worked with the brand. They're great. They have awesome customer support. Everyone that works for them, so sexy. Am I right? Stone, Morgan, you should see the warehouse workers. Oh, Javier, god dang. What was that? Brayden. So yeah, Onefinity's it's been a standard and a staple in all of our shops except Paul's for now, but we'll see. We'll see if we can change them over to the light side instead of the dark side. This machine fits every single need. They make a ton of different tiers that you can invest in, so you don't have to break the bank on the first one. But honestly, even at the highest tier, they're still performing like the the industrial level machines, but at a really affordable price. So it's worth checking out. Our link is going to be in the description. It's ref equal AWP. That's the link. So just look in the show notes. The link is in there and I'll give you guys a little discount. So remember, Onefinity, get railed. Wait, that's not it. Onefinity, one machine, infinite possibilities. They do have beefy rails though.
There are beefy.
The rails are pretty beefy. Guys,
and then you can add extra bonus girthy rails.
Yo, I just got my rotary in. Bro, that thing's stout.
Yuck.
I was expecting like the laser rotaries that are like, yeah, cute, right? You get a little aluminum extrusion. This thing feels stout, so I like it very much.
Home security-esque.
Yeah. And speaking of things that suck and also attach to your Onefinity, Airweights, our new sponsor. No, sorry, not Paul Jackman.
I thought you were gonna. I was sponsoring the podcast.
No, Paul Jackman of Jackman
I'm
Works.
just here.
Go check out his templates. All cut on a Onefinity. We're lying now, but
It is.
so Airweights is our new sponsor. We partnered up with them. We've seen the awesome stuff they've been doing in the community. Super innovative setup. Jace over there is doing great work, and they have every single size that you might need. Because here's the thing: you may not want your entire CNC to be a vacuum table. You might just want it for certain things. Maybe you're just engraving bowls or cutting boards. And you might not want to be using a lot of hold downs. We actually have a question about hold downs a little later in the podcast that we're going to get into. This is a great solution for a fairly cheap and affordable vacuum table, because vacuum tables have only really been available in massive machines and you need like 3-phase vacuum pumps on them. It's kind of a nightmare. And you can run these things. If you've ever seen like one of those California Air Tools compressors, that's how quiet these vacuums are. The smaller ones, the big beefy one, like what Dan has, a little louder, but the little guys, they're awesome. So they start at the 16 by 16 inch pad. So if you have some smaller projects you do consistently, as little as 200 something bucks, it's great. And then you can go all the way up to the full entire bed. You can do different zones. It's really awesome. I am so stoked to set mine up on my machine, and definitely worth checking out. So definitely go to airweights.com and use code AWP for, I think, the exact same amount. I don't think we have a code set up yet.
No, 10%.
We do. Yeah, there we go.
10%.
Yeah, we just did it as I was reading that. Braden got it. So use code AWP for 10%. See, this is why Braden is the
like
brains.
2 weeks ago.
I'll tell you what,
as you were
that
reading.
vacuum bed is so amazing. Like, I accidentally put my hand on the bed the other day and turned the pump on. Couldn't get my hand off.
Sutton had to come back and turn off the pump.
I had to call the fire department and have them get my hand off. It sucks so much.
I actually think the smaller ones are really cool because you can take them, like put them on and take them off so easily. I think a lot of people can get a use case out of that instead of having to go full bed.
I keep one in my back pocket, just like for vacuum bedding
Pocket
on the
vac.
go. Pocket vac.
Pocket vac. Anyways,
I could use a pocket vac.
Well, that's it for our sponsors. Guys, we have a guest this week. A guest that's been on now 4, 5, 7 times. Who the heck knows?
You know how Saturday Night Live has like the blue jackets or whatever for the people
5-timers club.
Yeah. Paul, you're not getting a jacket. I thought I'd bring that up.
Paul's been on SNL twice, actually. So you're
going to get a jacket, but it's going to be really small.
Like you said, we will punch your Subway or like sandwich card.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor.
But not in the way you'd expect.
So
No.
You've obviously been on here ones of times, right? And most people should know who the heck you are, but who the hell
why
do you
did I
think-
come back?
Yeah,
Good
who the hell do you
question.
think you are and why are you back here?
question.
What do you do? What is it you actually do here, Paul?
Here or
Just in life, here being like
Here
on this planet.
on this planet as it
Yeah.
spins.
Oh, I just worry about my ever accelerating path towards death every day.
Love
that's
it.
fun.
Love it.
Okay.
Through woodworking.
Go a little
Let's
darker.
go existential.
Yeah, I like it. So,
I-
so you do
I
a lot of
cut-
gardening, right?
I
Do you
cut
think,
wood.
therefore, you are?
Yeah.
Sorry, that joke's putting discard before the horse.
I'm confused.
I'm confused too, Braden.
People listen to this?
Zyla doesn't.
Less and less.
All right, Paul. What is it you actually do in real life?
I
somehow
cut
makes you
pieces
money.
of wood into smaller pieces of wood, and then I glue them back together into bigger pieces of wood.
I think we went over that in the intro, though.
Efficient?
Yeah.
Meh.
But like
Sometimes there's more steps.
you do it, like I constantly reach out to you and I'm like, why do you hate yourself? Like you're currently gluing tiny squares together with CA glue.
Mhm.
And then I'm assuming you're going to put some kind of fiberglass over that, I hope.
Mhm.
Okay, thank God, because I was like, that's going to be a big structure.
It is
so
very brittle right now.
like you're famous for two things: the pallet. You're the pallet wood guy.
Am I?
So anytime somebody, yeah, yeah, anytime somebody sees a pallet in the wild, like, oh, it's Bush Bull Jackman, right? And they tag you in a story. I definitely haven't done it ever. But then you've also become kind of semi-famous for your segmented bowl or segmented lathe work. Like you talk about that. Like how was, first of all, the transition from, I feel like, one to the other, or not really, but incorporating the lathe into the work a little more. Talk about your origin story, bro.
I mean, I've been on a run with the lathe work recently. I made a wedding present. It's a vase. It hasn't been released yet, so that's a secret. But
Did the finish
you know,
finally dry?
I'm still refining it.
Is it
It's been
vase or
a few
Voss?
weeks.
Boss.
Yes,
Vis-a-vis.
I made the Stanley Cup trophy.
That's actually pretty
Nice.
cool. Did you
That's
make that
behind me
for
right now.
anything, or that was just for shiggles?
Kind of for the Maker hockey game.
Oh, that's right.
I was making sure I got it done before that. It's just a little hockey game that I throw once a year with a bunch of makers and spectators. It's a bunch of
People like hockey?
middle-aged, out-of-shape guys that
Oh.
very good at it.
You know who
But
has
it's
no
fun.
right being as good as he is? Mike from
Graz.
Total Boat.
Oh.
Yeah,
That it's
That
infinite
doesn't
energy.
surprise me. That guy is like athletic as all get
And
out. I
he
feel
gets
like.
off the ice after 3 quarters or whatever you guys periods. I
Sure.
don't know, whatever you guys
Sure.
call them.
3/4.
And he's like, oh yeah,
Quarters.
I wasn't quite as
Woodworker.
good as I could be.
Thirders.
I went like paddling on the water this morning. Like, oh, how are you? I barely walked 200 steps today, and you're like, you swam, you ran, you played hockey, and he still got energy. That guy is infinite energy.
Did you ask him last time he skated?
What is this, like something
The
ridiculous?
last Maker hockey game.
Really? No.
Jeez.
He's a perfect man.
He shouldn't be that good.
Has anybody noticed that Mike from Total Boat is basically like East Coast Skylar from Surf Prep?
Yeah, they got the same vibe.
Like they both got the same vibe of, you know, they could do whatever they want, sort of thing.
Infinite like positivity type of stuff. Yeah.
I'm willing to bet there's a few differences.
Well, yeah,
Well, they're-
like 4 time zones.
One's more tan than the other one, clearly.
Yeah.
So, well, you started out, and actually you showed us a leg lamp table thing
My leg.
from your old shop. You've now
You know
moved
what
a
that?
couple times.
You know what that needs? More
Hair.
Maybe I could sell it then.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably would sell it.
I don't know who would want to buy that.
There'd be at
Do you
least
still have
one
it?
person out there.
That wasn't made for a specific customer order.
Arbortech has that in their office.
Oh,
Oh,
poor
God.
Arbortech.
Last I knew.
Ask
And
him
they
if you
keep
could borrow
sending
it.
you more sponsorships. They're like, hey,
They
you
still
let's do-
work with me.
It's
Can
like
I borrow that? I want to add something to it, a little flair.
it's like Carolina Shoe, Arbortech, and like Isotunes are like 3 companies that are like, yeah, this guy's great. Like they're like, what?
Did you
They're
roofie
like
those
something, I
people
don't
at
know
like
what.
conferences or what's going on? How'd that happen?
Conferences?
Hey, have you drugged these people? Is that
Yeah.
how it happened?
Oh, I don't know what it is.
Just keep
It's
coming
something
back.
with the chemicals in the pallets.
Okay, so
The formaldehyde.
yeah, that's what it is.
it's like a drug.
Does this smell like
Of sorts.
formaldehyde to you?
The leg table is just like a pedestal table with my wooden carved leg, and they specifically requested that because I made the Christmas Story leg lamp man version out of wood. So that was the origin of that. And they're like, "Well, we want one of those." I was like, "Really?" So
Ooh, that would be fun to make
Wow.
on the rotary.
I'm gonna have to get a 3D scanner. Yes.
Did
yeah, my
you
leg.
did you augment it at all, or is that like 1-to-1 ratio calves?
That is that's my calves. That table is shrunk down 25%. The lamp was 1-for-1. My leg exactly.
And the table is shrunk down, even with
Down
those
25%.
mountainous calves. That's 75% scale.
Squatting pallets, that's what happens.
I feel like if they try to, if they like, we'll get 3D DIY Dave to scan our legs at Maker Camp. Mine's gonna be thrown way off because all the leg hair. It's gonna look fuzzy, like you're scanning a poodle.
Like scanning a lollipop that got dropped at a cafeteria floor.
He's got what are those hypoallergenic dogs? The Labradoodles.
Doodles?
Yeah. Whatever Obama had. Peter Doodles. So you made the snowman around the giant balls, the snowman balls on Christmas
Big balls.
around the holidays. What have you made since then?
What do you say you do here?
I got the Stanley Cup. I got the
right.
base that I made, and I'm currently working on a wooden boot that's going to be a go-kart.
DOS boot? Wait, what?
It's hard. It's a hard project to explain.
And you're not the only one doing this. You and
No.
Jimothy are doing it, right?
But yeah, Mr. Diresta, if you've heard of him.
Please try and explain. Paint us a word picture.
So this was my idea. I pitched it to Carolina a few times, and they finally said yes.
They
And
finally gave in.
that's usually what happens. Is it takes a few attempts, and they're like, okay. And there's an idea I pitched to Arbortech a few times. They haven't said yes yet, but it might still happen. So I'm not gonna spoil.
What
the
kind of
secret.
crazy idea are you pitching to Arbortech when they're okay with the leg table, but whatever you're pitching to Arbortech, they're like,
It involves different body parts.
oh god.
But also on the lathe, if you know what I mean.
Not quite.
Ladies.
Well, this one does not take a lathe. I'll give it that. All right.
Yeah. So
Not with that attitude.
the vision was kind of like the LL Bean bootmobile. If you've ever seen that, it's the shape of like the classic LL Bean boot, and it's a car. It's huge, and it's got like a windshield and everything. You can drive it.
What
on the
about
road.
the Oscar Mayer Wiener mobile?
Literally what I was just thinking about. Get out of my head.
That's what I can
It's
picture.
like
like
that, but a boot.
But
Okay.
it- on a golf
similar?
cart.
Is
So
it
like that, but
similar,
not like that.
similar to the Longaberger basket buggy,
That, but a boot.
but a boot?
Yeah,
A boot what?
Why are you guys talking about Canadian?
It's like an
stuff?
F-150, but
A boot. A boot what? You're confusing our northern
So having
listeners.
a really hard time picturing that.
Sorry, Jason.
So that was my vision: is scaling the boot big, but not so big that you can't see out the top of it. So I want it to be so like my eyes are just poking out the top of the boot. So you see like the top half of my head, just like
So the tongue of the boot is like.
I wish I
sloped
could have
out a
been
little
there
bit.
when he was taking those measurements so he could get the proportions. Or
Yep.
did your wife help with that, or how'd you do that?
I like sat in my chair and I measured from like my butt up to the top of my head, and I like
And just
scaled
go
that.
As
down,
one
go down
does.
4 inches from there.
You don't
had
have
to get-
those measurements in a note on your phone already?
I
He had to get
used
the he
model
had to get
from
the
Dave.
floor to mouth hole ratio.
It's pretty standard.
Kristen is very too supportive of you. I think she encourages you too much, but it's
She
worked
doesn't
out.
question it too much.
The thing that like blows my mind right now is like I was watching. You sent me some photos of the progress, and I think you did some stories. There was a lot of CA glue, which means you're taking these little tile. Like, can you talk about the construction of it and how insane it is that you're using just CA glue to hold it all together, one piece at a time?
Yeah. So it's basically the theory of like a stitch and glue boat, kind of a similar idea to that, which those are made out of thin plywood, like 1/4-inch plywood, and you form it with these stitches, which are just thin copper wires, and that pulls the curves together to give you the boat shape. And then usually you kind of tack it between those stitches with some CA glue, and then you add epoxy and fiberglass and all that. That's what's holding it together.
And
But it's
that's
basically-
how you constructed your canoe that you made, right?
Yeah,
Or your
And the camper.
yeah, the
whatever
camper,
that thing was.
the camper,
Okay.
and the kayak was the same idea.
Kayak. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Tough one.
Sky
So it's like that, but much smaller pieces. But right now, it's all just held together with just dabs of CA glue for now.
Are you
But it's
afraid
all
it's gonna
pallet
fall
wood.
apart?
Basically 4x4 cubes, give or take, and they're all custom cut because it needs to curve as you go up, and it curves around the heel and the toe, and it's complicated. So it's kind of like a pixelated version of a boot.
So you're doing
It's-
that, and then you're gonna somehow make it hard by adding
Nice.
some
Yeah, so
kind of epoxy.
That I'll add a bunch of fiberglass tape to the inside to the seams. That'll kind of solidify everything, and then the outside I'll sand it smooth, cover it in fiberglass like you do on a boat, and then varnish it and all that stuff.
Buddha boat.
So,
So it's very thin. It's all pine pallet wood. It's all 1/4 inch thick. So very thin. I'm trying to keep it lightweight.
Are you just edge bonding it to the next piece next to it, or are you doing some kind of overlap on the back that's helping? You are raw dogging it.
Edges, except where the leather overlaps on the actual boot, I have overlaps there too.
So here's the thing. Wood moves, right? So wood moves.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man. You're a madman.
Well, it's not like it needs to last forever, right? It's just got to last long enough to make a video.
Yeah. And somehow it'll be at every maker event we go to for the next 7 years.
It might be. But yeah, so that's got to be done by Jimmy's go-kart race, which is July 12th.
What size motor? What size motor are you popping in this thing?
350. Big boy.
Whatever one came off of Facebook Marketplace. I don't know.
Oh, you found one?
I found an old go-kart for like $300. Some kid sold it to me, and it was in decent shape. As long as it ran, I was fine with that. As long as I could fit in it. That was kind of the two things. If an adult, large adult, could fit in it, and it runs.
You're like
one. 2
adults or like 4 stout kids.
I'm like 2 Pete's, pretty much.
I was really hoping that we were about to hear that this was like a custom Hayabusa motor mount sort of thing, and it had like 2,400 cc's.
It's
one of the Harbor Freight ones.
Is this why Derek from Malden also picked up a go-kart recently? Is he also making one?
He's making the left boot.
So I pulled Jimmy in. I got him to agree. I was like, it'd be funny if I made a left boot and you made a right boot. And we had matching pairs and we're racing down the go-kart track. And then that evolved to him making a cowboy boot instead. And Derek also got pulled in and he was going to make some other style of boot.
If Jimmy makes a cowboy boot, does he have to drive that standing up? Because it has...
I don't know what the plan is. He's built the bottom part and there's a video of him driving that around and somehow he's going to add the top. And I don't know how that's going to work.
He's going to have to put a peephole.
A periscope.
I don't know, right?
With a periscope.
Put a
I feel like the center of gravity is not going to be great on
Dude,
a
that's some making fun type of crap right there.
It looks like an episode of the Netflix show. It really does.
Oh my god.
It's kind of the same thing.
And any of you guys accidentally, rough each other in the track and the whole things fall apart because they're all just butt joined together.
Yeah, mine's pretty delicate. Jimmy's is made out of foam, so that's pretty delicate too.
Derek's is going to be welded.
I don't know if I want to reveal what he's doing, but he's doing a different technique, not using wood or foam. Something else.
I'm just imagining a flip flop.
Yeah,
I'm listening.
He's making it easy.
Just a G string. Or he's going to do a croc. Like that's the real move. You make a croc.
Yeah. I mean, he's got the cart. He got that running, so that's a good start.
And then
so he's got the cart before the horse.
Is Graz going to do like a child's shoe?
Ballerina shoe. Like
real, like, just Asian foot binding, small, like real tight.
He's going to run the go-kart for me. He's going to hit the pedals. He's going to sit inside, hit the pedals, and I'll steer from up.
Just like 2 kids that stole their parents' car.
Honestly, I wasn't planning on that, but now I kind of want to do that. You would have to like sit between my legs, and
you got to tap him on the shoulder to let him know brake or gas.
Yeah, I'll just be yelling at him.
If you feel me flex my right calf, turn right.
I've heard of 2 kids in a trench coat, but like this is a whole different thing.
2 men in a
go-kart.
Yeah. Oh my god.
2 men, 1 go-kart.
So you have to do this in, if my calculations are right, in about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks left. Yeah.
Why are you on this podcast? You should be working on this tonight.
I don't know. Why am I here?
Dude, that's crazy.
Well, it's crazy.
So that's it's tricky because the go-kart geometry too doesn't really work with it, because if you think of the shape of a boot, your foot goes in the back of it, and that's where you want to sit. But on a go-kart,
that's where the motor is,
in the back, you sit in the middle, and the pedals and everything are up in the front. So I got to make a platform over the motor too. So I'll be sitting on the motor.
Wait, I've seen Mad Max. That's where the guy with the guitar stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I need one of those on my go-kart.
He's just strapping the back piece, holding him up. Yeah. That's
Graz
what you
can
do.
Be
just
The
the
guitar
whole
player.
race, just Graz is like shirtless
I don't see.
and like
I don't
and like
see that.
assless chaps and leather, just like playing guitar with speakers behind him. Honestly, that'd be great.
Radio Shacks are still around, right?
Are they?
No.
You're gonna have to go and get one of those 8
Maybe
foot
in Nebraska.
steel
No.
8-foot steel whip antennas and put it in the back so it looks like a little RC car boot.
You
I
could
should just do
probably
that.
get one
Just
of those on
RC.
Facebook Marketplace too.
And then add like little like Roman candle like boosters that you like light at one point, but instead of making you go faster, it's just shooting Roman candles at your competitors behind you.
No, you can get a legit rocket motor like the ones that like Zyla uses when
No,
she
but
makes
go
those
full
rockets.
Mario Kart here. Like just
Start
sabotage the
chucking
other people.
Chucking turtles at people.
I'm bringing banana peels with me.
Actually, that would be great for the video.
It'd be a good bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this go-kart race has been like every year thing, right? For
I
a
think
couple
he's done it 4 years now.
4 years,
Annual.
yeah.
The word you're
Yeah.
looking for is
Because
annual.
Jimmy would buy a go-kart track in East Durham, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Because why
I
not?
mean,
It's known
couldn't
for
have been that expensive.
Yeah, just happens to be in the town that he's purchasing half
Probably
of.
cost him like $200. Why not?
Somebody probably owed him money and was like, just take it.
Just
It's
take it.
literally across the
Take the
go-kart
deed.
shop.
Or he raced go-karts for pink slips of the place. He put his shop up as collateral.
I'll race you for pinks.
I'm mostly impressed that you're building this boot and you're doing all this on the deadline that you have, and you still had time to drop your debut album, Adirondack Lover.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know about that. I did not play that track. for him.
That's less fun.
Before Braden goes on,
Uh-oh.
you should know that Dan and Braden are addicted to AI, and especially the websites that
I had
make
nothing to do with this.
AI music based off of a couple of prompts. And Braden, you can't play it. No.
Oh, I can't play that.
No. But
I can show you
basically,
the album cover.
Yeah, it was. So, I don't know why there's a
I feel
tiny
like I saw
version
this
of you.
somewhere.
It was I think it was in your promo reel that we did.
Oh, okay.
But it just basically was like I mean, how
You
do I
and Pete
describe
were
it?
having a special weekend together, and
Very-
AI ran with it.
Okay.
I don't know what prompt he gave him, but there was I don't know. I don't know. It was inappropriate.
Did you put that on Spotify yet, Brain?
I did not.
What is wrong with you?
I
Come on.
barely wanted to share it in the
But that's
group
okay.
chat.
Dan also has a rap. He has an entire rap album.
I
that we
made,
released.
we made Dan an entire album, Grizz the Recluse.
Basically, the theme was like, what if Paul Jackman was like Duke Silver is in Parks and Recreations?
Mm.
Yeah. So that's why you have the hat, like you're a jazz player. Clearly,
Oh,
you
yeah.
like sex.
I do have a musical persona. I could put that on my Spotify.
Ooh.
Go on.
I go by Suge Day. It's like Suge Knight, but
No, yep.
We got
Love
the
that.
reference.
Big
Love
fan.
you.
Please
Mhm.
continue.
so Suge
Yeah.
Day.
So
I have a one song with Little P, Suge Day and Little P.
Really?
Little P.
Pat Lap.
um,
It's a double
You-
entendre. Yeah,
you
got
need
it, Brandon.
to like make that a persona in your videos, like you did with the other characters you've had over the years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
just like
kind of
throw it in
is.
there.
He showed up as like a prequel in the Trebuchet video.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Oh, Suge Day. All right, I'm gonna have to bing this now.
I'm trying to see if I can get it to pull up the prompt
it.
that I used.
You found it. Dan's like, yep. I just had
Oh,
AI
God.
look for it. Suge Day.
Like a dad.
Oh,
I think I
no.
remember when you dropped this a couple years ago.
Oh, there it is. We're
Yeah.
gonna link this in the notes.
there's a whole like 5 people found it funny.
Oh my god, this is awful. I love it so much. Yep, show
It's
notes.
still up there, right?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
still on
it's-
Spotify.
Okay.
It's on YouTube, my guy, on Pat Lab's site.
Oh, it's on Spotify too. I just dropped the
Is it
Spotify
really?
link on
Oh yeah,
in the chat.
there's a
Yeah.
great album cover.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Sure is something.
I'm reading the lyrics to this nightmare I created.
Oh my god. All
It
right,
explores some
Oh.
very deep themes.
you want
know?
to drop some bars?
Let's see.
It's okay to say no.
I'm running down a canoe with my boy Pete in his bare feet on the sand. That's where I'm gonna stop that line.
I already hate it.
It's built now. It's building time. We'll take what we can, babe, because it's building time. And then just words: woodworker, builder, joiner. I want him, my baby.
Oh,
This is not
It was a very tender weekend.
This is not. His wife was there. It wasn't. We ate sourdough and they didn't even stay the night.
got rowdy.
We slept in the little camper.
Yeah. Which you have no idea how many people are like, reach out to Paul about the camper if you need ideas. I'm like, I
Forget
know.
about speed dials.
Pete, you're building a camper?
Yeah, camper. Barely knew her. Ironically, when I asked for like, oh, if you guys have any recommendations, that was the week you were coming. And we were like, oh, reach out to Paul. And I'm like, here.
I'm importing it.
I would like to point out on Spotify, Shug Day has 4 monthly listeners.
That is impressive.
4.
For
4 people revisit it every month.
For a bit, you know, it's somebody's hype song. Somebody plays that and they just point at themselves in a mirror in the morning.
If I can't get that into a reel on Instagram, I'm quitting the internet.
just it'll be original audio. Do that.
Is it on Instagram?
It'll pop up.
Yeah. Well, because you and Pat Lapp are both GIFs on Instagram. Which how did you guys land that again? I forgot about that.
They're
You guys just added to Gifly or whatever, or Giphy, whatever their
Something
app
like
is.
that. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't have a lot on the stories. You have to make them like stickers somehow.
Yeah,
But
I'll
there's a
bing
way.
it. I'll bing it. We'll look it up.
There's somebody that uses that song. I can't.
What's the
forgetting who
song
it is
called
now.
again?
Like a Dad.
Like a dad.
Yeah. Somebody used it the other day, and I'm blanking on who it was.
Well,
I don't
it's clearly still getting plays.
I searched Like a Dad and Freebird by Leonard Skinner shows up, so I'm not sure what
Close
to
enough.
read into that.
That was actually based on Jackman's song.
Party Rock
So, yeah.
Anthem. This is some weird options.
Well, while he looks up
We're
these
really
songs,
buried.
Paul, I do want to jump back to your like origins a little bit.
Yeah.
'Cause, like obviously we've all known you for a while now. We know what you're capable of. But like, what would you say was the project that like put you on the map where people are like, oh, this guy's crazy, let's follow him? What was the first one that would like really like popped off?
Yeah, the first one that popped off was the pallet wood shot glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because the poison, everyone lost their mind.
You put that on Reddit, didn't
I
you?
also
Yeah.
love that you do a lot of small miniature projects that you'll bang out sometimes, and then like
Don't say
you go
bang.
to the biggest thing ever.
The thing with the small projects is I'm like, I like to do this, but it's not super interesting for a video because I'm making YouTube videos for my living. So I got to make it interesting enough. So I was like, well, if I make 100 of them, maybe that's interesting. So that's what I did with the shot glasses, a big batch of them,
By the way,
which I wouldn't do again.
speaking of batch work, when you did your little pallets, little
Yeah.
baby pallets, this guy like we were visiting you right around the time you had just finished them up or something, and you showed me where you got all your cardboard. You got it at a liquor store, right? Or something like that. It was beer boxes.
Oh, to wrap the pallets up?
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
his packaging was laser cut beer boxes from the liquor store, just like
Yeah, it was like cereal boxes and beer boxes and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
so the outside was just like nice cardboard, but on the inside would be like all day IPA or
Yeah.
whatever. So I actually thought that was really smart.
Yeah, because I just wrapped a pair of pallets up
Yeah.
with that. So it looks clean from the outside.
So shot glasses, and then what? Any of the big projects popped you off?
That's the first one that I remember.
I feel
There's
like
a couple
the Nutcracker was. Maybe I'm just thinking of it as big because it was big in real life.
Yeah, the Nutcracker did really well. That one is eventually what led to the Netflix show too, Making Fun. If
Mhm.
anybody's missed out on that, that's a fun show to watch.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I've
What's
I've heard of the show, but I've never heard of this Netflix thing. Can you tell me more about that?
Well, you see, it's a subscription service.
If you guys have
If-
Paramount Plus, you can watch it tonight.
Yeah, use code Jackman to save 10% off of Netflix.
Imagine. And there any word on season 2 for that? By the way, if you
No.
guys don't know, he has a Netflix show with Jimmy and Graz and a couple other people.
Yeah, Derek and Pat
Yeah.
and Justine. It's a show where we build kids' ideas. They pop up on the TV screen, and we shoot down a few of them we don't like, and then we pick one and we build it.
You pick the most
then-
unhinged ones.
Were there
Yeah.
any ideas that you shot down that you thought maybe would be pretty cool?
I don't know. A lot of them were like very impractical or defied the laws of physics.
Very impractical. Unlike the
Yeah,
taco,
unlike everything.
unlike the taco Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah,
Right,
or the unicorn that shoots glitter out of its ass.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Impractical, unlike
Yeah.
those things.
Okay.
Right. We had to draw the line somewhere. Farting glitter from a unicorn. Like, yeah, okay.
Guys, we're not being funny. This is literally on the show.
These are things.
This sounds
isn't a
made up.
this isn't a
They
bit.
got,
This
they
is
got
just
paid to
things.
do this, and we're
Yeah.
asking for season 2.
I got real American money to do this.
Also, there's something very magical about watching Jimmy argue with little unhinged children.
Just
that
being
just-
mean.
Just makes my day.
What
Yeah.
what I
It was
what I like
it was
about
funny because like none of it was scripted, but they like tried to guide the story a little bit to make it, make sense. But like that stuff with Jimmy just harassing the kids a little bit was like that was real.
but what's funny is like that's not even Jimmy's persona. Like he's one of the nicest people ever, and he come off as like
Yeah.
a grumpy old man on that show, which is
Mhm.
not. It's nothing like he is in real life, at least from my experience.
He's
No,
like, he's the guy in charge. You have to be like grumpy old man for the show.
he's always in a good mood unless he's around TV producers.
So he was in a bad mood the whole
So
time.
it was easy that day. Yeah.
I still love that they made, like, if you actually watch the show, the best way you can watch it is going knowing that they scripted them for episode 1, and then Jimmy and the rest of them said, F this, let us do it our way, right?
They tried to. They sat us down before the first shoot day, and they're like, here's just a sample script, kind of where we want the story to go. And we started reading through it, and Jimmy's dyslexic. Derek is Derek. And we all have our own personalities. Like, none of us are going to be good at reading lines or doing anything like that. I don't know if they wanted us to read lines, but they wanted to kind of, guide us down the road. And we're reading the script, and Derek was trying to read this word, and he goes, capiche. Capiche. He was trying to say capiche. And he couldn't figure out what the word was when it was written down.
Capiche, thank you.
And like 30 seconds later, the producer's like, all right, this isn't going to work. Never mind.
At what point
PJ,
did
is that like ceviche?
At what point did they then remember that Pat Lap is French Canadian?
Right,
He's
that
probably,
doesn't
he's
help.
probably the one that could read the best out of the whole crew.
They wrote your fake love interests very well. You guys acted pretty well in that.
The unicorn.
Yeah.
Oh, that was natural. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like how they, obviously Jimmy had Derek, you had Pat, and then they brought in Justine for Graz to babysit.
Mhm.
I
to
love Graz.
bring his stool around so he could reach all the tools.
Dude, the story about how they had to do the camera work to just get the intro where they were like panning and then they had to drop the
Yeah.
camera down to get across.
I can't remember if we talked about that last time.
We did, where they
we
had
did.
to
Set up
build,
the
they
intro
built a
shot.
whole thing for it,
Yeah.
right?
Because we panned across. There was us in a lineup. And as I was off camera, I went and looked at the monitors. I was kind of watching what's going on. And I saw them go to Graz and have to kind of adjust the cameras down because he's shorter than Derek
Yeah.
significantly. And the producer was sitting there. I was like, oh, that'd be kind of funny if you like pan straight over and then tilted down, exaggerated. And they're like, that's a good idea. And then they spent an hour resetting all the cameras. And then we filmed it that way.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Graz is on Cameo if you want to surprise anyone that loves Graz. Yeah.
But yeah, the show's not canceled, but it's not renewed. It's like shelved. It's just sitting there waiting for
Just
money,
waiting.
I guess.
Netflix, where shows go to die.
Yeah,
It's the new
Netflix.
like what was it Fox? They used to have like all the great shows. They're in prime time and they would just kill them one after the other. Bad old times.
It's expected.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that you guys get another something because I enjoyed watching the shenanigans. I think that was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I hope we can do it again. We'll see. I don't think so, but
Well,
you never know.
I mean,
There's that positive outlook that I love.
you never know.
Glass is half full.
AWP is in talks with Netflix to pick up the filming rights for Making Fun. It is
Yeah.
that American money you were talking about being paid. It will be different in both amounts and legality, and also
Zimbabwe dollars.
monopoly style.
Yeah, I'll get $1 million Zimbabwe dollars.
Yeah. But
it's funny because the show came out, whatever, 3-4 years ago, and it still pops up every once in a while. Just yesterday, Mac, who owns the barn where my shop is, his wife runs a daycare, and she was here just stopping to talk with Mac, and she had a couple kids in the car with her. And I walked into the barn, and I didn't realize one of the kids recognized me. Mac just told me today, he's like, "Oh yeah," one of the kids was like, "Oh, is that the guy from Making Fun?" Like the fuck Netflix show that came out 3 years ago.
Paul Jackman of Making Fun, and also Jackman Works. I think that was your title for a while there. You were really riding the coattails of that show.
It's probably still there. How long can I keep that in my email signature? I don't know.
Didn't you have like Emmy winner too?
Yeah,
Emmy
we won an Emmy.
Oh, won an Emmy?
We won, editing on a date. What was it? A family kids show, something like that. We're up against Sesame Street.
Wow.
Suck it,
Honestly,
Big Bird.
you guys would be great on Sesame Street. Like Sesame Street, like now I watch a lot of it because Juniper and me, I like it too. And they bring on like random people to like hang out on Sesame Street,
Like just off the street to show them how
No,
how hard life is.
influencers and people that are like relevant to I guess current.
So
times.
never mind. Not me then.
Yeah, so
Sorry,
you're
Paul.
4 years too late, but
Yeah.
great to have you on. Because you and Cookie Monster, you guys just would vibe.
I eat those cookies.
Everybody always remembers the cookies. They forget about the monster.
The monster. So after this this go-kart race, what's the next thing on a docket? Like you already have something picked out?
Retirement.
Imagine.
Riding off into the sunset.
Yeah, I haven't thought much past that because I got 2 weeks to go.
You ever gonna do that boat? The
I
little-
do want to. I want to do a canoe, but that'll be next year.
I thought
Have you
you were
ever thought
doing a
about doing a
little
sky
tiny
canoe?
boat.
Or a water plane.
Water plane would be cool.
I could do a water plane.
A water
Like
plane would be
just a canoe.
just a canoe with outriggers.
A reverse sky canoe.
But yeah, you got to. You were talking about doing that little mini boat. Don't you have the shell of it already picked out?
Yeah, I did. There was I saw this guy that made a little one-seater power boat, and they have a thing. It's called a cocktail racer. That's kind of like that.
Oh!
This is a family
Watch
show.
your mouth.
I'm sorry.
Tail
Cocktail
racer.
racer.
Thank you.
That's like a whole thing. That's a whole category of boats. And I wanted to make. I might end up making a cocktail racer this year, but I want to make like a mini boat that is built to Coast Guard specs, like safety specs. I register it with the state. I have like the lights, the green and red lights on the front. It has a fire extinguisher on it, life jackets, everything. Like the Coast Guard will board boats. They'll just pick a random boat, hop on it, and they have to go through a checklist and make sure they have all like the safety stuff checked off. And I want to have everything checked off. And then in the video, of getting boarded by the Coast Guard.
I mean, you have
and they go through the list.
You have a hookup.
you have a
I know
hookup
some
with the Coast
people.
Guard,
You
right?
can arrange it.
Yeah. I know somebody that knows somebody.
He knows some governments people.
But like, how do you board a one-person boat without sinking it?
A lot
Carefully.
of balance. Carefully. There you go.
Yeah.
Carefully
You
in calm
get, you get
seas.
two half people.
You get
I
a
think Graz to board the boat.
Graz
Yeah.
shaped. With just Graz with a mustache. Like no one can tell.
And a weird
It's a
pirate hat.
mustache on his mustache.
Or like use clearly like B footage of like B-roll footage off of some website of like Coast Guard boats coming in, but then like just have the boat just out of sight and it's clearly a different camera shot.
Yeah.
That's the scene. Like, a low budget, sea level movie.
I might have to do that because the Coast Guard might not want to be filmed. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah, just
But
have your
that's
contact
the alternative
do it.
plan.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So cocktail racing, could you make the boat shaped like a cocktail glass?
Or a shrimp.
I had the thought today. I was looking out the barn at the boats. And I was like, a boat would have made way more sense
A boot.
About
than
What about a boot?
go
a boot, a boat.
What about a boot barn? Like there's a lot of there's a lot of boot based structures that you could make.
Yeah. A house.
Yep.
A
Yeah,
boot-shaped
there's that
kitchen island.
There is that whole story about the woman who lived in a shoe.
Mhm.
So you could CA glue an entire house sized boot
Maybe.
And then shove a whole family in and see how they get out.
and like a Mr.
I gotta-
Beast video.
I have to find a family.
If you can survive in this pallet wood boot for 300 days, you'll win
$50.
40 million Zimbabwe bucks.
Forgetting what else is coming up. We're going to renovate our house. That's going to be a big project. We're starting to plan that now.
Are you going to do that?
I'm going to do as much as I can, yeah.
Have you lived through a renovation before?
No, but I've done it to other people and it looks miserable.
I was going to say, it's great for you if it's in somebody else's house.
Right.
It is it's a line finder when you have to live through construction.
Mhm.
I am not allowed to to do any construction in our house anymore. I can't rip apart walls and stuff because my wife has a firm line of where her sanity is allowed to be or can be.
I've never had the opportunity. I should find that line.
Dan, our project that is coming up, she has asked me like every 2 or 3 days, when is this starting so that I can prepare?
We should probably do that soon.
I'm pretty
We
sure
need to
Carol
follow
has
up
been
tomorrow.
asking Dan about the kitchen for a couple of years now.
Oh, the bitchin' kitchen?
The bitchin' kitchen? Yeah. Are you still doing the
Sponsor-
kitchen, Dan?
One of
Sponsored by
these
hot
days.
sauce.
One of these
You're
days.
doing it when things slow down, right?
Yeah, the cobbler's children and all that.
You should just make your kitchen out of entirely out of zebra wood. Now that there's a global shortage.
Yeah.
Dude.
I wanted to talk about that on my bench. Are we going to get to what's on our bench? I don't
Yeah,
think so.
why don't we actually... Well, we have no maker news, except there's apparently a go-kart race. A boot scoot and boogie.
July 12th.
July
Eastern New
12th.
York.
Just going to
Eastern
point
New
out,
York.
the Boot Scoot and Boogie is the perfect song.
It is. Also,
That's a good one.
I love how anytime Jimmy throws an event up there, it is the most poorly advertised event that gets the best turnouts. Like, there is no advertising. You find out via stories and awkward mentions and sentences when people talk about it, but then they still have a great turnout. Every time I see videos, I'm like, this is packed. Like, who's talking about it? I didn't know, because I would drive up. It's only 2 hours. It'd be fun.
I had to text to find out what day it was.
Terrible.
Like, how do people
advertising.
know when this is happening?
Oh, it's super secret. It's like, with those raves and warehouses, like in Blade, that movie.
I get emails for those like weekly.
Oh, you're on the Meatpacker rave email distro?
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm on
I
Only
signed
Jimmy's,
up,
which also applies to the Meatpacker raves.
I signed up for those emails in the 90s on a GeoCities website, and I still get them.
Yeah, that's what Daniel Dunlap Photography at Hotmail is still hot. still good.
Speaking of which, Dan, your voicemail still says Daniel Dunlap Woodworks or Daniel Dunlap Photography.
One of these days, I'll switch it.
Maybe tomorrow.
Look at that. How about that? That actually looks
Das
actually
Boot.
pretty. The fact that the thing is held together with CA glue,
And
actually very
And-
impressive.
And hopes
See the
and
layers.
dreams.
Yeah, looks
Great
that
for
looks
an
dope.
audio medium.
it seems like it's going to be a lot of sanding, Paul.
This is why you watch the YouTube channel. Also, don't sand too hard because a quarter-inch of material is not that much if you got a pointy end.
There's not a lot there.
You know what it would have worked better? Woulda?
Foam?
What?
Clogs. You made clogs before, but
Just the
you
whole
never think about making a
make
bigger
a whole
clog?
boot out of clogs. Just start gluing clogs together.
No. Instead of making a boot, make a clog.
I'd be
Because,
done now.
He's done a set
Yeah.
of clogs.
yeah, I know I'm looking through his library of videos, and I came across the clog video, and I'm like, hey, that would have been cool.
As he's driving the go-kart, he could clog traffic.
Ooh. Yeah, well, he's gonna go with the banana too. So
Do you know Healy's follows me on Instagram?
Okay, weird flex, but
Do you think you could get them to also sponsor and they just let you put one single giant tire on your go-kart?
Ooh.
And then you got to balance the thing as you drive
Yeah.
it?
Like a
Do you
one
think
wheel
Heelys would be down to
clown.
like-
Yes.
Also, would Carolina
Heelys.
Shoe have a problem with you doing a Heelys video?
I don't know.
Hey, Heelys, I've got an idea for a boat.
Because Nick Brim's also done a set of Heelys.
Yeah, he did
He cut out his brunt
omens.
boots and installed his own Heely boots and put some miles on them bad boys at
Workbench
Workbench
Con.
one year.
And
Yeah.
also on his face when he hit a rock at full speed.
He did hit the rock at
can't
full
believe-
speed. I
It's
was
luckily-
there for
that's
that.
still one of the big misses ever. Like, we had all those content creators around us, and not one person got that on video.
Because they were living life, Dan.
Ugh,
It's
so
on
bad.
here.
Oh,
You
you
have
got it?
It's on one of them. There were several opportunities, and I've got at least
No,
one of them
nobody
on here.
got Nick flying like
Well,
50 feet, though.
Send it to the group
I-
chat.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
I don't think that exists.
At least the boots are flexible. The clogs sucked.
Well, it's
Yeah, those
It's
clogs
a lot
look
of-
uncomfortable as all get out.
Yeah.
You need a lot of calf strength for that.
also, why
That's
haven't
the
you
only thing I
done
have.
Heely Carolina boots yet?
I thought about doing that because I got the loggers that have like the giant rubber heel. There's a lot of volume there.
Here's what you do. You put on a CNC and you have the CNC carve out the cavity for the little Heely
Yeah.
insert.
And then be sure that you post that online and you specifically state that you're the first person to ever do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Put a Healy in a boot.
It was
Yeah.
my idea.
But do it with a
Nobody's ever done
CNC
it.
so that way you truly are the first one to do
Yes.
whatever.
And nobody's ever done it.
Yep, nobody at all.
It'd be
Well,
like
you'd
a
be-
Guinness World Record. They're just
Yeah.
hyper specific now.
Just
Like the
dialing
first
it
person
in.
to eat 30 hot dogs in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dan-
I did that last week.
Left-handed.
Yeah, Dan
Right,
was also
yeah.
the first one to lock
While
down the
standing on one
Daniel
foot.
Dunlap Experience.com. So, world record right there, I guess.
Boom. I don't think I still have that website.
I
Braden
also
probably owns it.
I did double check. Only Dan's is still not available.
Son of a bitch.
You got to check when it expires so that you can jump on it.
Oh please, Pete.
I'm just making sure.
This ain't my first time
This is
buying
more,
a
I'm
domain.
saying it out loud so our listeners know. If you go to whois.com, you can check domains. You can see when it expires. You can jump on it. Anyways, since we're already talking about what Paul's doing,
What's on my bench?
let's do a quick bench. We have no news. So, Paul, what else you got going on aside from, obviously, this? You put a second floor on your warehouse.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
big. Yep.
The second shop is pretty much done.
What happens at the warehouse? Is that just a packing
I'll
plan
tell you
at this point?
It's a rave.
It is a co-owned shop with me and my buddy Cam. And
Not to be
it's
confused with
packing and-
Mac, which is Cam backwards.
Right. One shop is owned by Mac and one is owned by Cam. It's very confusing for Pete, specifically.
Confusing for a lot of people, including me.
So me and Cam own this like commercial shop. It's part of a larger building, but we own a chunk of it as like a condo. And we put in a second floor loft space, which is basically 2/3 of the floor space. So it's more than a loft, but it's a loft as far as the building department is concerned. And it is
Did you finally
packing-
get your fire suppression permit thing?
Sprinkler's good. That's all
Okay.
done. We're just waiting for an electrical sign off, and that's it.
Because I think we had you on twice, and both times you're like, I'm still waiting on it.
The sprinkler was a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally got them to file a permit. And then once we actually built it out, we were waiting for weeks for them to put the sprinklers in. Because I built the floor to a certain point, and then there were sprinkler heads in the way. So I couldn't build past the sprinkler head because there was a joist running right where an old sprinkler line was. And I had to move it. So yeah, that's all done now. But that's just a packing and shipping area for my physical products, which is mostly Adirondack Chair templates. And then Cam does vinyl and tinting and graphics and sign stuff. And it's also just storage for me and my auction winnings and things like that.
You have a problem.
Yeah.
Let's actually unpack that because you got me involved.
Are you on the
got
email
me-
list now? I hope so.
Oh, are you kidding me? I peruse the IRS website all the time. Not that IRS, guys.
A different one. They do take your money though. in the same
They
way.
do take your money, but you get these things that are amazing. You just have to pick them up. They're heavy. They're always heavy. They're never light.
The last batch I got was 1,000 board feet of white oak for about $1,000.
Hold on, quick math.
That's roughly 99 cents a pop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking
board foot.
$1, but
The Nebraska math.
Yeah, so Paul got me onto an auction that was in Jersey, and I was like, I might try to go for it. And I ended up getting actually all of the outdoor rated 1/4-inch Baltic birch that I'm using for the trailer conversion. I got at that auction actually, so it finally come in handy. I sat on it long enough. It's paying off because that stuff is
you got that a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, it's just
It's been a minute.
Ironically, I brought it home in that trailer, but it was 5x10 sheets. They marked it as 4x8 sheets and ended up being 5x10. That's the nice thing about these auctions. Sometimes they mismark stuff.
Oh no!
And you get a nice deal. Yeah, guys.
Apparently,
nice.
whoever organizes the auction tells them to underestimate or overestimate rather than under. I think that's the way it goes. Like when I got the basketball flooring, that was another auction.
What is this?
The guy was like, "It's probably more than the listing says," because they tell us to.
What is this secretive website that is it irsauctions.gov?
Yeah.
No. Different. No. It's not
irs.gov.
No.
Oh, heard of them.
It's literally irsauctions.com is the website.
Oh, there is an irsauctions.gov, by the way.
There is, but this one it's purely industrial recovery services. That's what it stands for. So it's woodworking shops, but dude, you can get like $100,000 machines for like 10 grand. Like,
IRSauctions.net goes to a very different place.
Whitehouse.org or whitehouse.com.
Place.
But like, you can get, Paul, what's like recently you got a bunch of sandpaper.
Sandpaper?
How much did you
thought
pay?
I was selling sandpaper.
How much did you pay for all of that sandpaper?
I got a pallet of it, which was the size of a pallet, 3-4 feet tall, of boxes of sandpaper for $400, I think.
Ooh.
And guys,
I've already
we're talking
made
about
back 4 times that much.
tens of thousands of pads of paper.
Are you selling sandpaper on the black market now? Is that what
eBay.
Yeah, I'm a sandpaper reseller. I'm an auction reauctioner. I did this with.
Are you telling me if I buy from you in auction, I'd be an auction reauctioner?
You could.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, there's a market.
Didn't you
there.
get your pallet racking from there too, right?
No, I got that from a buddy of mine.
Oh, you gave in. I get it.
No, I get stuff mostly from auctions and store liquidations.
Yeah, like
Which I feel
Joanne
kind of
Fabrics.
bad. I feel like a vulture just like feeding off the carcass of dead businesses.
But where'd you? So, you guys were when we came to our place. You were on your Joanne Fabrics death tour. You guys were trying to hit every one of them on the way home.
Yeah, we're checking their dumpsters and stuff. These cabinets hold their sewing patterns. I got 4 of those at the store closing sale.
Those are nice cabinets, though.
They're really nice and they're heavy duty because they hold like, paper patterns, which are really heavy.
Yeah.
So they got heavy duty slides on them. I have 2 of those over at the other shop with all the sandpaper in it, and then 2 here in my office now.
Jeez.
But yeah, we got some stuff from Joann's. All the shelving and tables over at the other shop are from Olympia Sports when they shut down a couple years ago.
You have any chandeliers from Pizza Hut?
I didn't get anything from Pizza Hut.
Oh,
just the little red cups.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, those are a treasure.
I got a bunch of VHS rewinders from Blockbuster.
Nice.
But I will say that, like, look up auctions because Paul's turned me on to the auctions, and there is some good deals to find.
I'm currently looking at it, and I wish you would have never said anything.
Hey, Dan, do you know between the 2 of our shops, could we fit a 9 horsepower, 440 volt 3-phase CNC with vacuum bed?
No, but Nick's shop, or I'm sorry, Megan's
Nick's
shop is big enough.
We could probably store it at Nick's shop if we let him use
shop,
it.
Yeah.
There's
some pretty
the problem
good
is I'm constantly sending screenshots to Cam. I was like, can we? Can we? He just responds,
Here's the thing: you
"No."
actually have a warehouse to put it in, but you're also in the opposite position. Aren't you still trying to sell that 5x10 CNC?
Yeah, but that's Cam's. That's not my problem. That's his
Yeah,
issue.
but
That's somebody else's problem.
It's taking up shop space.
Yeah, it's a 5x10, but it's like from 2005 or something. Still works great. It's a great CNC, but it takes up a lot of space, and because it's older, it's a little bit bigger. So really, a 5x10 is like a, I don't know, 14x25 or something. It's
Watch, one day they're gonna be like, they make them like they used to.
There's a 5x10 Laguna Shop Smart for $4,100.
They just caught the bug. Everyone listening to this podcast right now is Googling.
This is a
these
auctions.
Auctions. These are
This is a problem
This could
for
be a
me.
big problem.
I need an adult. I need help.
I will say this: it's so it's a little tricky when you like actually you do the auction. You can pre-bid, but then like there is a cutoff date where people, it's just like eBay. People can mark it up, right? Like last minute.
Also,
And you want to try to win it, but then you have to pay with is it still with the like bank transfer or whatever?
Yeah, you have to do a cashier's check or wire the money.
Also, Braden, keep this in mind. You likely will have to go and pick these things up.
Oh,
You
I
have
know.
to. Yeah.
I've already started to calculate how far we're going to have to take time-wise to get to North Carolina and back.
Or here's the thing. This website will also connect you with rigging companies that will remove and transport these items for you.
Oh.
For possibly more than you paid for the item. But like if you want the right tool, you never know. You could get it really cheap. Listen, you can get a $10,000 tool for $800, but you're going to pay $2,000 to move it.
There's
what
a
that is?
buyer's fee,
20
and you got to pick it up,
Yeah.
and a
Oh, that's
wire
hard.
fee.
What about a 120 horsepower wood grinder? Dan, do we need one of those?
Honestly,
Yeah.
here's the thing. What I see the most of that is
We could throw a lot of
super-
my enemies there.
super undercharged is you can get pallets and pallets of wood for nothing. It'll be a giant pallet of like white oak, and you're paying a couple $100 for it. It really is like
okay.
because it's
It's usually
their
large-
trash. Like he's
A
literally
lot of
itching.
times it's large quantities.
Yeah.
We
Well,
should not be looking at this website right now. We have a podcast to do, gentlemen.
Yeah, but I can buy a pallet of rich mahogany.
we're literally just like there's an itch now going around.
Yeah, you could buy 3,500 square feet of basketball flooring from Baltimore.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's-
no.
You still have how many of those pallets?
A little bit more than half of it.
Wow. So you did
Yeah,
your
but-
entire shop, you did a bunch of projects, and you still have half of it left.
Imagine all
Yeah.
the cutting boards you can make, Paul.
It's all like super hard maple. It's an inch thick too. It's commercial grade flooring. You can't. I don't know where you buy that from.
How many
But the
nails
full-
are in that? It's got to be full of nails.
A lot, but it's nailed into sleepers. So you pull the sleepers off, and it kind of all disconnects. It's not as bad as you would think, but it is a lot of nails.
Okay. I had a sleeper cell joke in there, but I couldn't get it to formulate.
I was Polish, Slavic sleeper. Yeah.
I
So
just
there's-
realized.
Don't activate me, please.
I just realized that I started playing the Paul Jackman Adirondack Lover album, and then it's now into Pete's album.
Wait, there's
Jersey
multiple
Q.
songs?
Don't worry about it.
Did
Don't worry about
wait, what? Do you mean? What?
Don't worry
Jer-
about things.
Jersey Q is sacred, okay?
Jersey Q is you. Yeah, quarter sawn edition.
Everything bagel brisket is a thing, okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, well, we
Okay.
had let's see. I'm gonna make sure I don't mess up what your
I need to
artistic
make,
name
like-
was.
I,
Oh, here we go. White Mystery, Hard Times, and Jersey Q.
White mystery.
White mystery.
I still cannot believe that Dan's worked out as perfectly as it. That the Grizzly
I'm-
Recluse is
To be
out
fair-
of cover.
I'm perfect.
Dan sent
That's-
us a
that's
photo
why.
that already worked.
That's true. And then we
Yeah.
got several more.
Yeah, oh my god.
All right.
Anyways, speaking of hard prison time, Dan, what is on your bench?
same old stuff, different story, or day, different day. Actually, I got through a lot of my Etsy tables, but now I have to work on some website tables, and then I have to start working on some brim tables. And
Ooh,
I'm
brim
actually looking.
tables.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I know he's being super patient. So once
By the
again,
way,
I'd like to thank
I need
Nick
those
Brim.
coasters by the end of July.
Yeah, well,
You
suck
can't
it.
ship them, you're gonna have to deliver them.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. No problem. Yeah, they're just gonna be cutoffs.
Grizz the Recluse.
That's a real
Wallpaper
picture.
scars.
That's a real picture.
Well,
Yeah,
AI
that's
an
improves it.
that's an unedited photo.
I'm a real badass, Paul. You don't want to mess with me.
That is a strong term.
Oh, I've noticed that every time I up my Etsy ad spend, that it starts pushing products that I've never sold before. So I'm gonna, I don't know how to put this. I up my Etsy ad spend to $100 a day.
That's a lot.
It's a little
It
crazy.
doesn't spend it all though, right?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. But it's there, and it's pushing stuff that I've never sold before. So I've sold like a bunch of cutting boards that I've never made before. They've just been sitting there. Some wine racks that I've never sold before. So that's pretty cool. And we could talk about that on a different episode about how Etsy uses your ad spend money, which I found pretty cool. Once I dug into it a little bit, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just bump that number like skyrocket
ads.
high.
I like that.
That adds.
That adds though.
Yeah, other than that, nothing crazy in my life. I'm just trying to get caught up, you know how it is, you know how it goes. Also, I'm making a go-kart.
Chairs.
Oh, that's old news, Paul. I mean, those were some pretty sweet Adirondack chairs. I've seen some Adirondack chairs, but those ones were really nice.
Been there, done that. He's not going to become like an Adirondack guy.
Been there, done lab.
Nerd.
I have had several people want the plans or the drawings for those, so I might have to do that.
Paul suing.
If you're interested in Dan's Adirondack plans and templates, you can go to Adirondackchairs.com and pick up the digital files that I downloaded from Dan's computer when he wasn't looking.
Wait, what?
What?
I don't know if this is true or not. I feel
You'll never know. You'll never know till you type it into the search bar.
Oh, that's a lot of letters. That's it. That's all. I'm done.
I'm buying that and redirecting it to my Adirondack chairs.
Every single domain I buy is just a redirect.
That's it.
They just redirect. I've got 3 that redirect to each other.
Braden, what's on your bench?
A lot of what I've been doing this week is upgrading the CNC, which I don't know what it is about every single time I tear it apart, but that's when I need it, like immediately need it.
I love how when I pitch it to you guys always remind me of things that I needed to talk about.
Dan, go ahead. What did you do?
My CNC got some upgrades too.
What?
Or one of
That's
them
crazy.
did. Yeah, I got the red line spindle.
Wow, that you secured on a vertical surface, right?
Does your
With the
VFD have adequate airflow underneath it?
It does. It does. It definitely has adequate airflow.
degree did you
It
tilt
was
the box on?
properly broken in. And
Dan and Ed, I will fix this tomorrow.
By broken in, do you mean you interpreted the instructions in your Dan way, or you ran the?
No, he played the thing from Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah,
that's basically.
And then he just turned it up all the way.
I have the thing. Wait, where is it? I should have it.
If you're gonna do this, you got to do it.
I have this one.
That's not it. That's not. There it is.
Dan
That's what it sounded like in my I also got the Onefinity rotary, but I haven't hooked it up yet. I haven't even taken it out of the box. I'm hoping that Braden can swing over by my shop and help me set it up sometime this weekend. Braden?
Sutton will.
Bray.
Sutton and I will find time.
Bray.
This is always fun. I can always hassle Dan because every couple weeks / months there's a technical aspect and Dan he pulls me back in.
Yeah.
With love.
Oh, speaking of Braden helped me out. He put in an order for me for exotic lumbers that
from
a
Liberty
place
Hardwoods.
No, we don't mention their name. They're not worthy of mentioning. However, zebra wood is on a global shortage or something, right?
That's
that
that's
what
our
they
Maker
told you?
news. We found out that and then I Googled and ChatGPT'd it. There is a global shortage of zebra wood due to overproduction and they can't find trees, which
Oh, no.
seems weird
Poor
that they're
zebras.
just like missing all these zebra shaped trees.
Oh no.
But
Zebra wood's
apparently that-
extinct.
Paul, have
So,
you
yeah,
ever
I'm gonna
seen a
have to-
zebra wood pallet?
That one I haven't gotten yet.
Huh.
Well, now would be an awful time to start.
Yeah. I've gotten pretty much everything else.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to pull zebra wood off my all my listings here pretty soon.
Although they do have red zebra wood,
It's not the
apparently
same.
readily available. It looks the same, but like cherry. Like
If it's
cherry.
anything like
It looks
oak,
the same, but
red
red.
oak is trash. Okay.
It
No,
looks the
it's
same,
not.
but as long as you're okay with it looking just completely different.
It's
The
not.
only redwood that's good is cherry.
Dan, you said you're going past Pennsylvania this summer, right?
Yeah.
Could you pick up one of these 8 forklifts that I can pick up right now for less than $2,000?
Key is you buy one forklift to lift the other ones.
Get a buy one get one free deal.
Where are we
on
gonna
the
keep
forklifts.
said forklift?
Nick
house.
Brim. We
Nick
talked
Brim
about
shop. Yeah,
this.
Megan shop.
You got to buy 2 of them so you can use one of them to load the other forklift on your trailer.
Yeah, and then
Ooh.
you've duct taped them, and then the one on the
Here's
ground lifts itself
Here's
up.
the problem.
Go on.
Remember, I don't have the 3/4
That's right.
ton
You've
anymore.
only got-
I can't. I can
Yeah,
only.
you-
I can only haul one forklift now because I got
Dan got a
a little
golf
baby
cart.
truck.
Dan
off
basically has
Amazon Marketplace.
an American version of a K truck now.
Yeah,
Like
tiny,
it's
tiny
a
baby truck.
it's a pedal bicycle with 4 wheels.
Why?
And
Just imagine
Okay, I think
Dan
I'm. I
in a
think I'm
tiny
officially done with my bench until one of you guys remind me of something else.
until the next thing.
Braden, what were you saying before Dan cut you off? You got spindles and CNC stuff.
I tore apart my CNC. Sutton is as excited about this new CNC stuff as I am. So,
You know what? You know what makes me angry? I used to have to pay Sutton to hang out with me. You get
Yeah.
him for free.
No,
I
when he
went-
paid his dues, they grew up together.
Yeah. I've seen the dude shit his pants. So there's a certain bond that you get there.
Yeah,
I
last week.
suppose.
I've also gotten him like 4 separate jobs. Like every time a job like stops working out, there's just 30 minutes later, I'm like, oh, hey, fill out this paperwork for your taxes. I got you another job. So, Sutton finishes up his day job working with me and then comes over to my house. And this week we have torn apart my CNC, put it all back together. And by that, I mean, Sutton did all the work and I scrolled Instagram. So, it's a lot like
That
working
sounds
back at
familiar.
Dan's
Yeah.
place. Just, I want to make sure he can, remember what it was like. I got the QCW table because I thought that would
That was
kinda-
my favorite channel on when I had cable.
the Home Shopping Network. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I got the Home Shopping Network table, which it made it really easy to set up my spoil board, which is great because I don't have one now. I just have the Airweights, which they do in fact suck, which is a good thing. That's right. Yes, Dan.
Can a spoil board get too spoiled?
It can. I have one, my first one, and it
Yeah.
has several holes in it.
It's
Too spoiled.
If you have one spoil board, it'll become spoiled. If you have 2, then it levels out a little bit.
What if you have a CNC grandma and grandpa? Can they spoil the spoil board too much?
When they love each other very much.
It no longer works.
One fun part about tearing apart my CNC though was I got to see the very first time that I forgot to check a Z setting or a Z measurement. There's a coordinating hole in the spoil board that I hung up in my shop into my torsion box table, where it basically took the 1/4 inch bit at full speed and then just plowed it down through.
We've all
the spoil
ramped at
board.
full speed.
True, we've all danned it. Through the spoil
For
board
the record, I've never done that.
into the table and then dragged it like 3 inches before you can just tell that everything went even worse. So got to relive that. Got to see that scar before we covered it back up. Got the red line in. The red line is as quiet, I think, as the water cooled one. Which
Mine's even quieter because my pump was going out and it was really loud.
everything is just breaking. So it's really nice. I will say one of the really nice things about that versus the VFD that I did have was the red lines are aluminum, like the casing is aluminum, and all the wiring is properly like it's actually grounded, which means I didn't feel as bad running my control cable through my drag chain, because I used to get EFD, VCD, BBC.
VFD?
What's the EDM? Nope, that's electronic dance music. EMI? Electrical interference. I used to get electrical interference. There's a thing for it. It's not EDM. Skrillex. I used to get Skrillex in my G code, if you know what I mean.
Skrillex.
And now it doesn't.
I don't have that audio. Sorry.
Just play Pedro. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Same vibe. But yeah, so
It won't stop playing. It wouldn't stop
That was
playing. It
awful.
kept going. There you go. Dubstep. That's what it sounded like when you were trying to run your CNC.
that's right. Yep. It got all up in my G code and fed it full of the candies and the drugs. But yeah, so I mean, got that all set up. I gotta tell you, going from having like the MDF spoil board to having the black mount system that the Onefinity's up on, and then having the Airweights, and like it looks very like professional. Yes, Pete.
Oh, nothing. No, just it's so professional. I'm just very distracted by the fact that while you were talking, Paul Jackman registered Adirondack chairs, and it redirects to his Adirondack chairs.
Brayden, you've let me down.
Use code Dunlap for 20% off the month of July. Thanks, Dan.
Cool.
Oh,
Cool.
go to danirondack.com. It'll be in the show notes.
Adirondack chairs.
Chairs. I'm sorry. Chair.
Don't forget to include the chair.
Like
Yeah, chairs included.
DANIRONDACKCHAIR.com.
and use code. What is it?
Dunlap.
I don't know if it was Dan or Dunlap or DD. Use that
Dunlap.
code Dunlap for 20% off. Oh my God, what a troll!
I've never loved a
man.
guest more than right now, because
This
now
is
I'm not the only person who's bought a domain live.
No, because this is why I love Jackman, because he'll pull crap like this.
So here's the thing. Like,
No, you don't get to talk.
I found Paul's channel like 8 years ago, maybe 7.
And how did that go for you?
Get on a wait list.
And when I found his channel, I was like, man, this guy's cool. And then I saw him for the first time at one of the workbench cons, and I was so scared to meet him. And now I'm like, man, this guy really sucks. Don't ever meet your heroes. You'll only be let down.
All I heard was I was your hero.
Well, yeah, once upon a time. Here we are.
There goes Dan's hero.
The coupon code has been published.
I like you somewhat, Paul.
Because I follow you now on Instagram.
Oh, finally. Jeez.
Don't make
That was a whole saga.
I only had to beg.
That's all I did this week. I did that, and then I'm still developing this portfolio designer, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Partnership?
Curated. No?
Partnership feels too official. I don't know. Collaborative type experience that Dan and I are working on, so that we can be profesh for the designers in town.
Yes.
For the distinguished designer.
Mm.
Paul, what are you doing this week?
He already talked.
Okay. Well,
Way to
I was trying to be polite, but Pete, what the hell did you do this week?
Building a boot boat.
A boot boat.
I boot the boat.
That is actually a boot boat would be great. Pitch that to Carolina. I started working on a boat that's in the shape of a boot for brunt boots.
I have an idea. A boot hot air balloon. Those are super safe. They never crash.
Didn't one just blow up this week? Okay.
I don't think. Wait, that really?
Anyways, it's been super crazy
submarine?
hot injury. A boot submarine. The top is open.
It's Polish.
It's been super hot this whole week. I didn't get a lot done in a shop. I've just been my folks are coming back after like being away for 2 years. They're visiting for 10 weeks.
Whoa.
Yay. Yeah, I know.
So they're moving in
We're
forever?
put them we have to put them in a home for a few weeks, Airbnb, while Dan is here. Just in case.
Ouch. You're trying to make me feel bad because it's not working.
They want to do some travel while they're here. Anyways, I've been like, me and Emma have just been on like pre-Polish invasion prep. As we were calling it. We literally have a to-do list that's called pre-Polish invasion. We're just like, clean the house, weed the yard, whatever. Like all the stuff that my parents are going to try to do because they don't know how to retire. They don't know how to relax. So they're going to be here and just get into everything. Just been doing that. Working on the garden. I've been really getting deep into gardening. This I know I'm in dad mode. I'm building compost.
You know what they
piles
call getting high on TikTok? Gardening.
What?
Is that
gardening?
Is that what you're doing?
Not that type. No,
Are you into the
no.
ganj?
The jazz
The
cigarettes?
the devil's lettuce.
Devil's lettuce, jazz cigarettes? No.
Are you speaking in
No.
code? Is that what's happening?
I'm not a socialist hippie, okay?
I can verify, unrelated to Pete's stinky weed. Coupon code Dunlap does in fact work.
It does in fact work. You code
the end of
Petrie
July.
for 21% off.
Just
Make
saved
that
me
happen,
10.
Paul.
Just saved me $10.
Actually, I gotta. So a couple weeks ago, I was having trouble reading Paul's plans. Turns out I just had them upside down. But I called tech support, and Paul actually came out and helped me with my plans. It was great. Yeah,
Huh.
so that was great. Like great support from the Jackman team over there.
Which coupon code do we have to use for you to wait until the last day for shipping and then personally drive them out to Nebraska?
Use code
Dunlap.
Daniel Dunlap. But basically, I've just been like, it's been honey-do list stuff, gardening stuff. No, like ever since we got back from our camping trip, like the camper's on hold. The shop is getting slowly filled with boxes for my CNC, but I'm missing the most crucial part, the actual like Masso upgrade that I need to take the whole thing apart and redo it. So I'm waiting on that. So I just got to get a couple things done, then I'll install that. And I did get the rotary. I'm super excited. And still waiting on the one other piece that'll come later this year that I'm super stoked about. And then of course the Airweights that are just sitting there waiting, taking up space. I got to clean the shop, honestly. It's a freaking mess. And I got to get in there and finish those Adirondack chairs because the wood is in the shop, acclimated. All of the templates, thank you, Paul, for the templates.
You want some better templates? You want a
No.
nicer looking chair?
These are great, Dan. Honestly, these are awesome. They're cut out of MDF. They smell like April Wilkerson's shop. It's great. Yeah, it's great.
Coupon code Dunlap does not work on a restored bespoke palette.
No discounts on that.
No,
Damn it.
full price.
Full price only.
He's losing money on those.
That's on sale, isn't it? I'm
It's on
pretty
sale
sure
for
that's on sale.
How dare you try to double dip.
$6,099 instead of $6,001.99.
That's what I thought.
And that's basically it. I've just been like trying to stay afloat and whatnot and do some gardening.
Just peeting around.
Just peeing around, dude. Peeing around. It's hard. Why don't let's jump into questions and just rapid fire answer these because we are running out of time here and Paul has to go to bed. You guys good with that? Yeah?
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Oh, Black Betty, Ram.
Which apparently we have to play that audio. All right. First question is from, let's see. Where is it? Oh, Nick Vreeland we actually played. Alex Adams is from last week. We're going to play it this week.
You know, I thought when you guys were bringing Paul on that it would be a man made out of a bunch of jacks, but I don't think that's the case. Plus, he looks a little smaller than I thought he would be. Anyway, my question is, I'm building a cane, And I'm curious, for something that is meant to be handled that much, what's your favorite finish for those types of projects?
Ooh, good question. I would either go epoxy, or if I went with like Ruby or something, I would use their maintenance oil. They have like because it's a floor finish. It's meant for wear and tear, and their maintenance oil is like here, put this in the most worn sections so that it stays shiny longer oil. So might be worth checking out. I don't know. That's my answer. Braden,
Can you use
what do you think?
concrete as a finish?
Just polish it. Yeah.
Concrete.
Do that. But then you actually roll on epoxy afterwards as well.
I don't know. I'd probably dip it in epoxy, or actually I'd probably use shellac. I like spraying shellac on stuff.
I think you just like saying shellac.
It's
a fun word
really
to say.
fun to say shellac. I would worry that wouldn't be sturdy enough though.
Shellacs.
Just shellacs, man. Shellacs. I would possibly just use like a hard wax oil like I would on every other piece of furniture, and just treat it as like hey, you need to maintain this to maintain the luster, make it a feature, not a bug sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's where I would go. Paul?
All right, you build a bunch of coats of varnish,
Ooh.
make it nice and shiny.
Buff it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
That's it.
Wow.
All right,
You do tongue oil. Tongue oil's nice.
Oh,
Get it
that's
fresh from your
I
throat.
don't need to give my opinion. That's fine.
Dan, what would you finish it in? Lacquer?
Oh, I was serious about the concrete. Can you really use that as a finish? Like that would keep it safe.
No, but concrete, usually if you do like a concrete countertop, you finish it with epoxy.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
You're
you do.
crazy.
You should, yeah. That's how you get the shiny water resistant stuff you see in bars. But
No,
what do
but
I know?
I would
I'm Polish.
absolutely use lacquer. I would do several coats of lacquer because that's what I like to use. I like lacquer. It smells wonderful.
But like, lacquer is not water resistant,
Yeah, it is.
is it?
In the quantities Dan uses, it is.
If you lacquer it enough, I guess, yeah. No, lacquer will stain if exposed to water. You try to.
Are you swimming with the cane? What are you doing with the cane?
Well, your hand gets sweaty. Wet hand.
Well, yeah. I mean, what if they go into the pool? What, their leg suddenly works? No, they got to take the cane in the pool.
A pimp does not stop being a pimp in a pool. Okay,
They
take the cane in.
Lacquer.
Also, easiest way to do it if you don't want any like hand issues: diamond right at the top of the cane. That or like a metal like tiger or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say no.
So,
you gotta
like, if you're
you gotta
putting-
go with the snake.
If
Coiled
you're putting
snake
something
head.
at the top of the cane, you don't have to worry about hand sweat.
You
That's
always
all-
gotta worry about hand sweat, Dan.
With the
Most
lacquer.
normal people worry about hand sweat.
But then what if you often like throw it up in the air and catch it and you go pata, like the snake. Then you got to finish it right in the center. It's not just the top.
You put extra lacquer there.
So you gotta measure where down the shaft you're gripping it most. And
Your grip to shaft ratio.
yep.
Paul, how
Yep,
many
yep.
layers of epoxy would you put on it?
12 or 13.
I mean, if you're doing house,
Total
it's
board,
pretty thin. I just imagine Paul turning his lathe into a small, like, when people have those tumblers that you pour epoxy on and just slowly rotates it for like hours until it cures.
You did that for the inside of something once, didn't you?
The
No.
epoxy screwdriver that I made.
Yes.
Oh, that's what it was.
I made a mold and I poured epoxy inside and then spun it.
You,
But
you
not
did it like
slow.
slow.
It was fast.
Oh, I thought you did
Oh.
it slow. You did something slow.
It was fairly fast, so it all went to the outside of the
Huh.
Oh,
form.
okay.
Centrifugal force.
Yeah.
Oh, science words. Okay.
Science.
Ooh. All right. Next question is from James from Wet Nose Woodworks.
Longtime listener, first-time emailer. Quick question. If you had $500 to spend on one thing for your shop, what would it be? Tool, upgrade, something fun, whatever comes to mind. Thanks, James Wet Nose Woodworks.
This one's tough. Dan, why don't you go first?
It's not tough. Stripper pole, easy. Next.
$500? Well, you getting the cheap one? Doesn't even rotate. Oh, by the way, Dan, when I was in Nebraska, Dan learned that stripper poles
Yeah,
are
they
on a
rotate.
bearing base. Like it's
I
the
had
strippers
no
don't
idea.
just they're not.
I wasn't the
lubed up
only
and
one
they
who
spin
learned that.
around.
I think Malcolm learned that too, right? Somebody else
Maybe.
learned that. We were all like,
You and your
yeah,
truck
that makes
learned
sense.
that.
Okay. Okay.
So stripper pole.
Yeah,
middle of the
well, I
shop.
mean, after I learned that fun fact, I was like, stripper pole.
Honestly, here's the thing. I would, if I had the space, yeah, stripper pole.
Why not?
Why not?
Imagine the content you could create with a stripper pole in your shop.
Plus,
Telling you.
imagine Dan with the core strength of like 30 boa
I
constrictors.
didn't say I was going to get on a stripper.
Oh, no. You can't just,
No.
you
Watching
gotta,
Dan dislocate his coccyx.
It starts with cartwheels, and then it goes to stripper pole.
My wrist still hurts.
It's just the natural cycle.
I mean,
It's
the
gonna be
carpet was
really
pretty
crazy.
solid, but he's still recovering.
we're going to have to also then rig up a system, like a system of buckets in Dan's ceiling space with chains so that he can pull them flash dance style.
So like a lever system.
I was thinking
to help hold me up?
like a warehouse chain thing so that you could get the pouring water on
Oh,
you. Like flash,
okay, yeah. Absolutely, we need that.
Yeah, like if we're gonna do it, let's do it. Let's do it up, and then a glitter cannon.
Except I got a lot of cast iron in my shop, so I would do mineral oil,
That's so much worse. Just
but
visually.
on brand.
Yes,
It's clear and it would
Somehow
glisten.
on brand.
I think it's on brand.
and then you could use your front driveway as a slip and slide. It'd be
Mhm.
that greasy.
Oh God, could you imagine slipping and sliding down a driveway?
Your truck didn't it?
Yeah, one time.
When it snowed enough.
Yeah,
It's okay. He got rid of that truck. He was bad.
Why you gotta hurt me like that?
That truck.
Somebody
that truck
else.
hurt Dan. Braden, what about you? What would
Come
you
back
spend
with
What'd you do with
$500 on?
$500?
Come back to me. I want to ponder this one for a moment.
He's still looking at the auction website. I'll tell you in a second.
I'm trying to figure out if code Dunlap works on all of the free files on jackmanworks.com.
All right, I'll go.
Yeah,
Honestly,
how many forklifts can you buy in an auction for $500?
one,
Seven?
definitely. If you get
Seven
the
that I
right,
found.
if you get the right auction, you can get at least one. So I would spend, if I got a $500 gift card, it would probably be a lot of the dumb I really want to buy but haven't bought, like the stuff that I put in a save for later in my Amazon perpetually, and I would just go through it and just add all of it to cart.
earlier.
Book?
The one I linked to. Sorry, I was yawning.
No.
Oh, the Very Hungry Caterpillar? Yeah.
Yeah, that book.
Like, I would just buy, like, if someone just gave me, like, FU money, like, hey, spend on whatever, I've got every tool I need. Let me get all the junk that I've been wanting. I would just buy a bunch
Just
of
gonna-
dumb stuff.
Just going to point
Triple.
out, this is $500. This isn't like
5,000.
you're retiring. $500.
I could
Because that's the
retire
thing,
on
like,
$500.
I
Watch me.
am blessed. I am fortunate enough. I've worked hard enough where almost all my
this
tools
guy.
are over
Hashtag
that.
blessed.
Calm down. But like, I'm over, like, the tools that I'm upgrading all my tools to are over $500.
First of all, big ups to God.
We
Hashtag
go
blessed.
to the big guy up top. Listen, like, realistically, like, there's not a high-end tool you can buy for $500.
Wow. Look at you, Mr. Elite.
Oh, don't call me out here. I'm serious. Like, there's not a lot you can put it towards a tool. Like, you can't buy a domino for $500 unless you get a really good deal on a beat up one on Marketplace.
You could buy a really nice sander.
So why buy
You
one
could come real close to getting a
serious-
used spindle. I got
Yeah,
for sale on Facebook.
You
Market.
get a lower end, like a Festool sander or something. But like, listen, why buy one nice thing on sale if you could buy 1,000 little dumb things that you've been wanting?
At Temu.
What 1,000 things are
Okay.
so 50? What are you buying for 50 cents each?
A yo-yo, right at the top of the list. A yo-yo.
Just a
What? You don't
yo-yo.
have a shop yo-yo? Why are you hating
have
on
it-
me?
do you
I
have
had
one
a shop yo-yo.
No, the
Now
cool
he
one
goes
too.
to
The
Braden's
one that you
mouth.
like flick down and it stays for a little bit because it's got the bearings, right? And it comes back up.
Walking
and then
the dog.
as soon as you do that, panties just drop.
You
Girls
know
love
what?
it.
You know what they do with those bearings when they retire?
What?
They go to stripper poles.
Stripper poles are just retired yo-yos, just like snap bracelets or old tape measures.
Yeah, exactly.
So dumb. Anyways, 1,000 little dumb things. Paul, what would you buy with $500?
$500. Let's see.
You
doing some
can't use
math.
auctions.
Doing some math. 20 gallons of glue.
Okay. I mean, he goes through a lot of glue, so that makes sense.
He's actually somebody that buys the gallon glue and like uses it multiple times a year.
You would probably do well with buying the 55-gallon drum of glue from Boston Woodworks.
I should think about it.
Actually, yeah, go ahead and
Or wait, you have a relationship with that other glue brand, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, you should see if they'll sell you a 55-gallon drum.
Loose bond.
Glue.
Loose bond.
Well, actually,
I would get a drum sander off a marketplace for $500.
actually, that's not a bad idea.
Oh, you can't buy an elite tool with $500. That's what I was told.
I said
No,
I
he
said
changed his mind.
used. No, but that's a good idea. Of like, you buy a hoopty, you clean it up, you flip it. Listen, some of my best tool deals were like $500, just take it all type of things. Half of it was crap. Half of it was like
You just give it a fine detailing.
a table saw, a beat up joiner that's all rusted up, but it turns out it runs perfect. And a couple other random like hand tools, you sell it off, you're like $1,000 up, right? Paul's got a good point. Flip it. I told him no auctions, but he still found a loophole.
Or buy sandpaper at auctions. That's where the $500 would go. If I had no restrictions, that's where
Think
it'd
of
go.
all the hundreds of dollars you could make from flipping
Or
sandpaper.
one forklift. Honestly, buy
What do
something.
you do for a living? I flip sandpaper.
I resell sandpaper.
Somebody gives you a gift card. You just buy dumb stuff. Buy stuff you want. So that's what I say. All right. Next question is from. Go ahead.
No, I never went. I
I thought you
want
went.
to come back. No.
still thinking?
I want to come back.
Brayden, do you have an answer?
This better be a
Lumber.
good answer.
I want $500 in lumber. I can't find anything for $500 that like
It's
I
not
would
a
need.
bad idea.
I want to buy some material.
Yeah. But are you going to a lumber yard or are you buying a marketplace find? $500 for a pallet of wood.
I would take half of it on some like a risky, is this dry or is this not dry stack of 10 to 12 foot white oak slabs, and I'd spend the other amount of money making sure I can get them kiln dried so that I don't have to deal with bugs in my
Fair.
whatever.
I'll allow it.
Not based on real life. By the way, Dan, we need to do something with these white oak slabs.
Yeah.
They're very in my way
The
now.
slabs that are not based on real life. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Metaphorically speaking, props to God.
All right. Next
Big up.
question. Nick Vreeland.
Hey guys, Nick from NV Woodshop here.
But I want to pause. I love how there's an old man chair sit in the beginning of it. Just listen to it.
Hey guys, Nick.
You heard that? The chair creak. All right, let's hear it
At
again.
least he didn't get up out of the chair and go.
Oh, he's like, "Ugh." Yeah, because no, then it'd be a grunt. A sit down.
I do that
is-
every time I get up
Yeah.
off the couch.
Hey guys, Nick from NV Woodshop here. On a CNC, how do you know when you've held down your piece enough? I feel like I often use one method too many out of the four kind of normal methods of, either double-sided tape or blue tape, CA glue, or brad nails and tabs and hold downs and other stuff. I feel like I often use three of them when one or two would suffice. Before you all were fancy with your Airweights, the vac bed system stuff, how did you determine when enough was enough for holding down workpieces on your CNC? And a bonus question for Pete, since he decided not to air my question last week. How's your Kitchen Island YouTube video coming along? Thanks, guys.
Ouch.
I feel attacked, Nick.
You should feel attacked. That was a straight attack.
What the man? I thought we were friends. It's in the
here's the thing.
timeline, and the timeline hasn't been updated since when I finished the video.
May of last year, according to Paul.
Since I
won.
got called out, I'll
Wait,
go first.
hold on. I'm changing my answer to the last question.
Okay.
I want the Bigfoot Tools Worm Drive beam saw, like that big monster
yeah.
circular saw. That's what I want. That's it.
Beam saw?
Final answer. Yeah,
Well, to
I don't
cut
know
what?
I don't know what I do
Corners?
with it. I
I'm
just
gonna make so many pergolas.
It's called the Bigfoot. Like I
How
don't know
much?
what I'm gonna do with it. I just want to know I've got it.
$4.99.
What does it run?
$369.99 on Amazon.
Oh, that's it.
That's a
That's
smoking
it?
deal.
Wow, actually, that's better than a truck
You
saw.
can buy that and take us out to a sushi dinner.
Yep, dinner's on me. So that's it. Sorry.
I can't
That's
wait.
weirdly affordable.
Back to the other question.
All I'm thinking about is a beam saw now. Wait, what did Nick ask?
How many hold downs is
How
too
do
many
you-
hold downs?
Yeah, how do you
So-
know when you've gone too far?
I'm the biggest fan of brad nails. Just pop a brad nail where you know no bit is going to come near. Of course, I've missed sometimes, and then I've had a bit just go. It would like hit the nail.
Every single pass. Just
Yeah. So one little, and I've talked about this in the past. Sometimes when you do intricate stuff and you have big pieces that are going to be coming out, sometimes tabs, you might not want to trust the tabs, or maybe you don't want tabs or whatever. What I've done is run what I call a boop file, where it literally just takes the 1/4 inch bit. You don't have to do a V bit. Just take a 1/4 inch bit and boop wherever on the file you know is a bit is not going to come near at all. It just boops the file just an 1/8 of an inch or a millimeter or whatever, and then you can take a brad nail gun and just nail it right to the bed, because you know that's exactly where nothing is gonna, like, no bit is gonna come near it, and then you have a nice clearance and you know exactly where your clear sections are, even if it's a big sheet filling up your entire bed. Aside from that, I like the double-sided tape is nice, but like if you're doing some pretty heavy hogging out of material or a pretty deep pass with a 1/4 inch bit, it's gonna move on you. Even a little bit, it might just wiggle, and that's when you're gonna have a bad time. And the last one I still use to this day. I have a 3D printed file from a company that is trying to dominate the competition in the CNC world, that was designed way back in the day when this file was free and you could just
It's still
download
free.
it, and it's still free, whatever.
On
I
Thingiverse.
have my own version of it that I don't sell out of respect. I don't want to, because I built it off of that file, but I just use that hold down if I need to press something down to make sure it doesn't move. So
Nick's question was, how many are too many to use all at once?
just one or the other. You don't need to go
Yeah.
crazy.
Pick one.
Think
Run
about
with it.
if it's going to be a cut that like you need to press down, maybe the piece of wood is a little cupped or something. Is it something that you just want to make sure it doesn't move from left to right? I even have I cut on my laser out of 1/8 inch Baltic birch, a fence that just like sits on it. I screw it into the bed and or bolt it into my bolt pattern, and I bump something up against it. If it's a cutting board or something, it's not going to move. It's pretty heavy, and if I'm just engraving it or doing a juice groove, I just need to support it on the sides. And don't be afraid to screw right into your wasteboard. That's what it's for.
Mhm.
Yeah, I said it,
It
Braden.
sounds to me like Nick has maybe a little what am I looking for? Performance anxiety. He's worried about their
He's going for
performance.
belt and suspenders and also duct tape.
Yeah.
I think he just needs a belt.
Right.
Paul, when you run your fancy CNC that you have that shall not be named,
The Onefinity.
yeah,
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing. What do you like? How do you hold down your stuff? Do you have any special stuff, or you just kind of duct tape
Usually
it?
use hold downs, or I'll screw it down directly to the table and use tabs.
It's a case by case scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends on the project, but usually that's how I'll do it. Have you guys heard of the Raptor nailers, the plastic nails?
Yes.
I really want to get my hands on it.
If you do enough of it, it might be worth it because they're plastic nails. You can cut right through them.
What's
Yeah.
that
And
other
then
company that did wooden nails, but they're like framing nails?
It was like some Swedish
Yeah.
company. Can't remember the name of them.
The
Swedish wooden nails.
the Raptor nails.
That's it.
Honestly, it had me thinking about like, would it be worth resin printing my own nails? I know it sounds crazy now, but
Could-
like I thought about it.
Could I?
Not 3D
Well, this
print.
is a
You would
a
want to
brilliant
resin
idea.
print
No.
them.
You could basically grow your own nails if you could figure out how to use your fingernails.
I hate that. I hate that
Stop
so
it.
much.
But that's a good point, Paul.
Organic nails.
That gun, I mean, the thing is the gun's a little expensive, and the nails are proprietary. You
Right.
have to get them from them. So there's
So
that.
if you do enough of it, it makes sense. But if you're a small shop, probably not.
Lignalock by Beck Fastening.
Is
that
that the
a-
wooden nails?
They make wooden nails,
Oh,
and
the
they're
wooden
strapped
nails?
up for like a nail gun.
Is it a Swedish company or like at least a
It doesn't say directly on the homepage, "Hey,
Norwegian
we're Swedes"
area?
or Norwegian, but they may very well be.
Scandinavia?
I mean, Paul, you're the reason I own at least 2 nail guns. One I got at auction. The other one is the nail remover.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is honestly very satisfying to use.
the air locker, it's the best.
The air locker, that's what it is.
Yep,
Braden, so what?
it's an unnail gun,
Unnail gun, yeah.
a D-nail gun.
the reverse nail gun, the Uno
Reverse
reverse
cow
card.
Reverse cow gun.
I did the reverse nail gun last night.
Oh, really? Was Kayla there, or were you by yourself?
No, it's a by yourself thing.
BYOD. Bring your own. Braden.
That poor burrito. I go the opposite direction of the belt, suspenders, and duct tape. I just let them sag a little bit and hope it all works out okay. I have some MDF or HDF like torsion crank down little holds that I put into the T-track.
Oh,
but
cam clamps.
cam clamps, there it is.
Yeah.
love it on
I,
YouTube.
however, cannot stand T-track. I don't know if I've told you guys this. I don't know if this is
Yeah,
my
same.
controversial moment, but T-track is the worst, and I hate it.
Nah.
It is awful. So I try not to use those. I've nailed in pieces of wood to like just hold them in place on the left and right. I actually use a what's the word I'm looking for?
T-track.
Not PEX. PVC.
PVC pipe.
I use
I
PVC.
actually love that
pipe.
that setup. The having the PVC pipe carved into your spoil board and you place it in there.
Yep.
I like that.
Okay. Inlaying PVC pipe on your spoil board's okay, but when you do it as a decorative thing
You're
for a
savage,
table,
Dan. Yeah.
not good. Got it.
Yes, they are very different things. But I always come back to I just leave my battery powered brad nailer right next to the CNC and I wait, and the second I see it start to shift, I just like, okay, well, activate the ultimate lockdown
Activate
barn
hands.
door. I've never done that ever.
You know what I found? The
that?
brad nailer doesn't work so well with the Airweights. Don't do that.
Don't do that. No, the brad. No.
With 2-inch nails through the airweights
Not-
into the spoil board.
Don't do that.
Sutton learned how much I like using the brad nailer and how little I care about checking to see what length nail is in it when we peeled off my 3 layers of spoil board yesterday. I had some that went from the top layer all the way through into the actual table itself, and Sutton just
Yikes.
looked at me and judged the entire time. But you know what?
Sutton's good at that.
That workpiece did not move while it was carved.
If I've learned anything, I've learned that Sutton is very good at judging.
Real judgy guy. Real judgy. I mean, he's lucky because his personality is not great. But
But his hair. Oh,
Flows like the locks of Sweden.
yeah, that's it.
the locks
Dan,
of Sweden. In Sweden, isn't locks? Wouldn't that be like fish? He's got fish hair.
if you're Jewish and you like bagels,
no, not
Lox,
if you're
a
like
bagel.
you're a monster and you live in a body of water, then you're like the Loch Ness monster. Loch.
Anyways, Dan, how do you hold down your
Anyway,
Loch Ness
Dan,
monster
how do
to the
you
bed?
hold down your stuff?
Hopes and
Because
dreams.
I like Dan's hold down method. I've just never actually taken the time.
Oh,
to
but
do it.
Mr. I hate T-Track. I use
I-
T-Track.
Cannot stand T-Track.
It's Not my
Before
favorite.
I had Airweights, I'm a big fan of having T-Track running. Not is that vertically?
Yeah,
Perpendicular
vertically.
or vertically?
Not perpendicular. Perpendicular
Along the y-axis.
along the
perpendicular.
y-axis. Thank you. T-Track running along the y-axis. Then I have a solid rail along the bottom left corner, the far left side, and along the bottom. And I push everything up into that corner, which is like naturally home. And I have they're not cam clamps, but they're inline T-Track clamps made by Rockler. And that just kind of pushes everything up into that corner, and it never moves. And I always know where home is.
Do you guys have a grid in your like threaded inserts and a grid of?
No,
holes?
you did that for me when I first got my CNC, and you and our other host used to be here.
Nick Brim.
Yeah, it was Nick Brim.
I love that. I love
You put that in. I didn't like it, so I got rid of it like right away.
It's okay to be wrong, Dan. It's fine.
No, I'm not wrong. I'm just more right.
Paul, do you have a threaded insert? Like,
Yeah, there's a grid of threaded inserts in my Onefinity.
Do you use them in your Onefinity?
I do.
Damn it!
Wow.
I was really hoping that'd be. I'd never
I use
use
mine.
them,
That's, I mean, that's why, like, I don't.
and we could gang up on Pete.
No, I don't screw into my wasteboard as much these days. Like, usually I'm able to like lock down to one of my like threaded inserts in there. So, and I got a bunch of bolts. I just ordered like an Amazon pack of different length bolts, so I can like, if it's taller material, put hold downs there. Plus, I use my 3D printed fence that fits anything from a 2-inch to a 3-inch hole spacing bed. Go check out Are the Chairs Included with Pete.com.
Use code Jackman for 30% off.
There you go.
I am going to change my my hold down process though, and I sent you guys a link to the Head CN15-PS90-H.
Is that a CNC mounted one?
Wing-to-lock wooden nail gun automatic machine gun launcher.
Ooh.
I can only assume that this launches wooden nails. If vampires ever become a real thing, this is the first thing I'm ordering.
They are a real thing.
Okay.
What do you mean, ever become?
I've seen Blade.
All I know is this says it's specifically designed for industrial automation, and it's powerful with low air consumption. So I could probably like blow into a tube and launch them, right?
Ooh, that
thing
looks like a
like-
freaking Gatling gun.
It looks
That's
like
right.
it's CNC mounted. It's kind of ridiculous.
Oh, it's truck mounted. The top of a truck. Specifically,
Yes,
like a beat up Toyota in the desert.
Can you put it on a Chevy Silverado?
We can put anything on a Chevy Silverado.
Yeah, boy.
All right, let's get to the last question. This last one is for Jack Pullman only. So you guys shut up.
Yeah, I'm not answering.
Yeah.
You can't make me.
It's from Joe from the Offcut Emporium. Remember? He's around still.
Oh, man.
Hey guys, it's Alex. I mean Joe from the Offcut Emporium. This one is for the Jackman. Do you have any tips for building ridiculously oversized replicas of everyday items? Thanks.
That's
Probably
honestly
not, right?
a good question. You build some ridiculous crap. How?
Wow.
I wouldn't recommend it. That was the question, right?
How do you scale it? Like, how do you keep the dimensions
Math.
right?
A lot of math, a lot of photos. Depends on what the object is. A lot of times I'll draw it in SketchUp.
A touch of
And
autism.
A lot of, at least a sprinkling of autism helps.
Call it that dog in you.
Yep.
That Paul in you.
Well, like, how do you scale? You've done the hammer. You got the big knife. You've done the leg lamp. Obviously the nutcracker and now the boot. Like, there's everything's scaled appropriately. It's not like it looks funky as it gets bigger.
Yeah, the
Did
only
your
thing
head in all your photos.
what are you talking about? What a weird thing to bring up.
Yeah. I don't know what that was about. It's weird.
Sorry, I was thinking about my other podcast.
You're getting a big head, Braden.
Yeah. Watch it there.
I saw the new
boot's a little,
calendar.
the boot's a little funny because it's wider than it should be because it had to fit over the go-kart frame.
Because it has to fit
So it looks
you
like
and Graz.
Yeah,
Inside?
yeah, it's got to fit my pedal power, Graz. But yeah, usually it's just if I could.
I can just Roz is inside the boot, just pedaling
Just pedaling.
vigorously.
Yeah. Or he's just Flintstonesing it. Just
Oh,
on the track.
even better. Barefoot.
Usually I'll take just a really high quality photo from whatever, the side, the top, and a couple sides of it with a ruler in the photo, and then scale it from that. Usually transfer that into Illustrator or SketchUp, and then scale it from there. And the scale kind of just depends on what the object is. The boot had to fit over the go-kart, and I want to fit in my trailer, so it's just under 8 feet long, but it fits over the go-kart. The hammer, I don't know why it was that big. It was about 8 feet tall.
In
Oh,
a
right.
7-foot shop.
It just felt right.
Yeah. The big utility knife had to fit Jimmy's blade that he made. So for that, the blade came first, and then the knife came second.
That answers that old riddle. What came first, the blade or the knife?
Jimmy
Yep,
did.
the blade.
Huh.
The hammer was in the original shop too, right? Original. The
That was in DC.
shop. The DC shop.
Yeah, that was
One
the
car garage.
That was the third shop.
Speaking of old shops,
Not
Nick
the original
Pachi just got like a piece of like Jackman history recently. He got the 10-inch jet drum sander,
Yep,
which I didn't even realize they made him that small until I saw Paul's channel.
that's what made
Ladies.
me think of the $500 for a drum sander.
Yeah. I mean, I paid $300 for mine. I just have to drive to Connecticut for it. It was worth it.
Yeah, 'cause
From
I didn't
everything
have,
I've
like-
learned on this podcast, Connecticut's really expensive. So
It is.
how'd you get
And
it so
it's
cheap?
in the way.
It
It's
is.
in the way.
It's
a
in the
good
way to
to-
everything.
It's in the way of getting to where I'm trying to get.
Yes.
That in Massachusetts, honestly, who needs it?
I never want to go to Connecticut. I just want to get through it.
Good thing it's small. You can get through it pretty quick, right?
Yeah. It's average size.
It's annoying enough.
Dan, it's an East Coast state. Yeah, it's practically like the drive to Casey's for us.
It's true.
Really. So scaling. Okay. So when you
Yes.
just scale it up, if it's like the photo is 1 foot, you just scale it up 3 times, and then you're
Mhm.
like, oh, it has to be 3 feet wide.
Yep. Yeah, but then you just scale every dimension. So the boot is roughly 8 times size, give or take. So I'm kind of pulling measurements off of it from there. I have some printouts that I made of like a side, top, left and right of the boot, and I have a grid over that. So I'm kind of using that for rough dimensions.
Here's the
And then
thing.
pulling
I
off
always
the
thought you
actual-
just wung it.
Wung
You're actually doing math and stuff.
There's a lot of numbers. Yeah. The boot
he
is
just
the
plays
closest.
a dumb guy on TV. That's it. He's actually pretty
mean,
smart.
I mean, I wasn't, but thanks.
Damn.
I'm
Dude.
glad it came off that way.
On the Making It, they called him the engineer or
I'm
the
the
making
engineer.
fun.
Yeah, I totally did that on purpose.
I
That's
have an
smart, though.
engineering degree that I've never used.
I never thought
once.
of scaling photos with a ruler to size so that you can, and then adding a
But-
grid when you print it out. So you're like, well, this should be 2 feet tall.
You know what
It's
I would
only
do?
14 inches tall. I messed up.
I would take a photo of whatever I'm trying to scale up, and then
Okay.
put it onto like one of those clear transfer things, and then put it on one of those old 90s overhead
Ooh,
projectors,
Yeah.
and overhead projected onto the wall to whatever size I want, and then trace that onto a bigger piece of paper. That's what I would do. Just
Pete,
saying.
the reason you've never thought of it is because you're using
Polish.
millimeters, like you're using the metric system.
That's why they call me
The
Millimeter
rest
Peter.
of them. The rest of them. Yep. Go to millimeterpeter.com.
Where does that one go?
I don't remember. All roads lead to Dan Scraps.
So,
Go see danrodneckchair.com.
Adirondackchair.com. Discount code
is it,
Dunlap.
is it Adirondack Chair or
Dan.
Adirondack Chairs?
Yeah.
Plural?
it'll be in the show notes. Oh, Millimeter
plural.
Peter just goes to our
the AWP page?
the Buzzsprout, like the podcast site. So if you're like, hey, I'm on an Android device or I'm on an iPad, how do I listen? Just go to Millimeter Peter, mmpeter.com. Don't Google it because St. Peter will come up, and that's
But like a different version, a ChatGPT AI version. and it's wrong, but right.
millimeterpeter.com. I might want to steal that domain from you one day.
I'll give it to you when you're older.
Ask your father. All right, we have one more thing, but we'll play it next week. It's the customer service story from Alex Adams.
Oh yeah, that can wait.
About the slightly naked customer. But
just as a preamble to that, I guess, to get people ready for next week, I heard that question in the pre-show, and I found a customer support email. I take screenshots whenever I get funny emails. So this is the best one that I found. And
Let's
this is
because we asked for craziest customer service stories last week.
Right. So this guy bought some Adirondack Chair tablets for me. We emailed back and forth a couple times answering his questions. Pretty normal, nothing too exciting. And then he writes me when he's done with the chairs, and he says, "Thanks, Paul. I finished building the Adirondack Chair. Well, I'd like to send you some photos. Could you give me your email address? I can't seem to attach them to the website."
Oh no, I hate this already. I hate this.
He sent that as an email to me. That wasn't through my contact form.
So
this is what you deal with.
Boomers, am I right?
Did Dan ever send you the pictures?
I don't know what I ever said to that.
I thought for sure they were going to be like lounging nude photos or something like that. Or like a reflection
Can you send
somewhere.
me
Like
your
somebody
super
trying to
secret email that you don't give to anybody?
Right. It's like, do you want a different email address?
You just did, sir.
Jack Paulman at gmail.com.
Was he just messaging you straight through your website every time?
No, so he started with a contact form, and then he emailed, or then I emailed him back, and then he emailed me back from there.
It was a reply?
He didn't connect that he was in an email now. It was not a contact form.
Yeah.
Oh my God. As someone that works in IT every day, let's just say I get it.
That's the same vibes as like going to Google and typing in google.com. Google
Right.
search bar.
People just don't get technology. Oh my God.
When I first started selling the plans, people thought that they were getting an Adirondack chair for $10.
Shocking. I'm shocked.
I'm shook. My God.
Like, I still don't understand. And that happened to Dan, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
I got somebody.
Happened to all of us.
More than once. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I had it at least twice, where somebody was upset when they got the insert in the mail and they didn't get a whole saw, an entire saw, not a whole
It
saw.
was
Right. Shipped it
$20,
for
sir.
$20 or whatever.
People
What
are
the
so
heck did you
unhinged.
think you were buying?
So
Yeah.
you're telling me I shouldn't expect a wooden Lego man, a block puzzle, a floating lumber rack, and also a custom built segmented ring calculator in the mail soon?
You can't say Lego.
For
You
free?
gotta say block person.
Yeah, I used discount code Dunlap, so I
Right.
just assumed that was a thing. Technically, it wouldn't take the discount code, so I put it in the notes.
So
Discount code Dunlap.
do I owe you money now?
Yeah,
I think
yes.
so. That's how that works.
That's how
That's how that works.
it's like a tax. It's like a tax return.
Right.
Right off.
It's a write off. I declared it.
I declare a write-off. All right, we are way over 2 hours. We
Yeah,
gotta
please.
wrap this show up.
Please,
Paul,
God,
thank
make
you
it stop.
so much for joining us again. You're almost at the 5-timers club.
You'll get a jacket next time.
Yeah,
I
you'll
think.
get a we'll stamp your card. Where can everyone find you?
Onlyfans.com/JackmanWorks.
Actual thing.
Adirondackchair.com.
Use
Netflix.
code Dunlap for
Singular.
20% off.
Netflix.com/makingfun.
That one's real.
They're all real,
They're
unfortunately.
all real, sadly enough.
millimeterpaul.com.
I will check that.
That doesn't work as well.
Oh God, why is it so small?
Should make it
Measured
centimeter,
in
Paul.
millimeters, it's a bigger number.
Centimeter Paul. Actually, millimeter Paul goes to Molly Paul, some kind of mixed media artist living and working out of Concord, Mass.
Oh,
So you could go personally buy the domain
Wow.
you
Yeah.
can go make a new friend, Paul.
Take him
Collaborate.
down. Let's take him down.
about a boot.
Actually, it's hers. Her name's Molly. Last name's Paul.
Raised in Ethiopia.
Well, Paul, thanks for joining us. Go check out, search Jackman Works. You're going to see some amazing, awesome stuff. If you've never seen Paul's stuff, I don't know where you've been, but if you have, go check out his new stuff. And if you're near East Durham on July 12th, there is a go-kart race You'll have to call Jimmy's personal cell phone. How you get that? Good luck.
It's
I don't
East
know.
Durham. Just drive down the main
East
thoroughfare.
Durham.
You'll probably find it.
Ask at the
You'll
gas
find it.
station, hey, where's Jimmy's house at? And they'll just point you to it. So, we got a guest next week, right? It's not Paul.
Mortis and
Yes.
the Hare.
Morris and
Morris and
Hare.
Boom.
Joseph.
And this week is, remember, last week to enter, sign up to be a patron. You can sign up this week and get this month's giveaway. So
You can sign up anytime you'd like.
anytime you'd like and anytime in between. So
It's the last week to sign up until the next week.
there you go. All right, Paul, thanks so much for joining us. You've been awesome as always. Guys, love you all. Bye, 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 bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, Paul.
Bye.
Love you a long time.
Bye.